Hey, we're live.
Okay.
Kim's over here. She's
I'm here.
right here. She's just
Okay.
almost here. She's right here.
Where's my chair?
Oh, you got. Yeah, she's cleaning up. Like
Everything is
I
covered
said
in
it's the
things.
cleanup crew, and it really is the
It
cleanup
really
crew.
is going to be cleanup crew tonight.
Because if
Can
any of
you
you
scooch over just a tad?
this way,
I think. Where do you want me on the other
no,
side?
it doesn't matter as long as we're here. So yeah, there's a live that I watch on what you doing? Okay, you're pushing more buttons there. Stuff I didn't do. Okay, so on Thursday night there's a live I watch for a couple hours. It's 390 Wagon Master, and he's mostly CB radio stuff. So I just punched him out because he was still going on. So yeah, I'm coming on. So anyway,
Hello.
how is everybody?
I'm Kim of Kim Fixes Things. You can find my channel elsewhere on YouTube, but tonight we are on the Buff Del Campo channel, as it's pretty normal where we stream from. I'm here with Buff Del Campo, and we are in the shop, cleanup crew. We actually have real cleanup. I mean, we're not going to be able to progress a lot.
You didn't see the thumbnail, did you?
No.
The thumbnail is the mess.
Oh, goodness.
It's a chassis sitting there with the body flipped on its side, and
most of that messes out of the way.
A lot of that messes out of the way, but the tools and a lot of stuff's still around.
If anybody has done large projects like that, it's one of those things where the more you do, the more tools you need. And then you need this tool, and then that tool, and then this tool, and then that tool. And I blew up a whole car. All the pieces and parts of that car, in addition to pieces and parts of like the Studebaker and every other car that we've literally worked on in here, is now a new different eyeglasses. I don't usually wear these in the shop because I don't want them to get
I was wondering about that.
Scratched up.
Oh, you came from somewhere else.
But, well, we're not going to be doing any cutting or so anyways, my other ones are getting so scratched and I need to get out and get them done. There's a bunch of people here, so since we are officially at our time, I want to do our normal starting procedures, which begins with welcoming people. So I'm going to work backwards. Daryl B, welcome to the stream. Lester LeSaber, welcome. Glad you're here.
Lester LeSaber.
Hi, says hi everyone. Glad you're here. Tom Anderson. Hi, Buff and Kim and everyone else. See, greetings all around. Buddy Carafano was here at 10 o'clock. That's fantastic. He's going to get 2 points because Lester LeSaber beat him to the punch. Gets 3 points for getting here very, very first on time, which timeliness is good, so we award points. Retired Inspector Bruce is here for a couple of hours, and then he has to go to the
I didn't even notice he came in.
Airport run to pick up his wife. Where is she coming from, Bruce? Welcome to the stream. 21SC says he is a professional friend, and he stopped over from 390 Wagon Master.
So he is almost always in 390 Wagon Master, and I just punched in there that I was coming up here to get started, and I'd be listening to Wagon Master from here. And he showed up here. Pretty cool.
And Hippie Long and Crash's Roadrunner Garage made comments early, but I'm not sure if they're in the stream or not. Mexican Spec is here as well. We're never always sure if Mexican Spec can make it here because this is just like an impromptu thing.
And this is a late night.
Thanks for stopping in, Mexican Spec. I hope you can hang out for a little while, but don't feel obligated because everybody's on good behavior here. We rarely have problems with bad commoners. Mexican Spec says, hey guys, can you say hi to my son, Junior Spec? He is about to leave to go be with friends. Well, hi,
Junior Spec. Good evening.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out. Look forward to seeing more of you on content. Or just, I don't know. Welcome to the stream and also have fun with your friends. I know if I were young, I wouldn't want to be here either. I'd go hang out with my friends.
I had real good time with my kids until they turned 16. They got their driver's license. They're gone.
Yeah.
They didn't want anything to do with parents anymore.
That's normal.
And so that's kind of where, yeah, I understand completely.
That's sort of normal.
I understand completely.
But yeah, thanks everybody for sending greetings to Junior Spec. We have to encourage the youth in our communities. Make sure they have plenty of things to keep them engaged.
Why is he embarrassed?
Embarrassed? We're on the internet. What the hell? This is
only everybody can watch.
Yeah, this is a very exclusive club. So yeah, tonight we'll probably talk about some of the projects that made this mess while we take turns sort of sorting through. I mean, there are piles and piles. I didn't even know we had this many tools, let alone like I don't know what this part is. It came off of a car. I need to find a home for it. I don't think I can throw it away because you can never throw anything away.
It's a heater control valve.
Oh, of course.
See that thing? Yeah, I see how it works, but I don't know.
I don't see that it works.
I don't see that it works. I see how that it worked.
But I bet I could fix it, right? Because I'm.
And you remember how I said that car was? If all of you saw that blue Spitfire, how bad it was, and I said it was made out of Bondo. See this part right here? It looks like it's made out of canvas and clumps of Bondo.
Show them this angle right here. The goober.
Oh, the goober. Already. I missed it.
Oh, wow.
I'll wait for the ads to clear by.
Okay, give them 5 seconds. 5 seconds.
Give them a little more than that.
Yeah, there were some holes in that body. What is this? Some kind of metal screen?
I don't know. It might be. Yeah, it might be some. It's an old screen window. It's an old. Okay.
It's an old screen door.
I thought maybe that was canvas. Kim just pointed out this backing they used to make this. This was part of the rocker panel. It's made out of like an old screen door. It's screened from a window or a door with Bondo packed on top of it. And then here's part of a fender or something. It's same thing. It's screen, and look at how thick that Bondo is. Look at this lump right here.
Yeah, that lump right in the middle.
That car was full. That's what that body was made out of.
That's an inch of Bondo. Like smear it on thin in the shape that you want, then let it harden. And then smear it on again. You don't just like gob it on there. These people are nuts. The car was. This is a heavy lump of.
They're asking about the toolbox.
Oh, we'll get to it. I'll set up
that over here, or if we can, maybe we can take a camera over there.
Oh, maybe we'll just bring it over here.
I mean, we almost have a clear space there with a little bit more cleanup. We can do it.
I could just feed you tools, and you could just wipe them and put them away, organize them.
But it says GM had. Body by Fisher has body. Yeah, we have body by Bondo. Yeah, we could have a little logo like that right in the door plate. It says body by Bondo.
Bondo.
Plastic filler. Yeah, Bondo's a brand name.
Brand name, yeah.
Well, Kim's comment when this stuff was all falling off the car as she's taking apart was make sure you use the high strength Bondo.
Yeah, I mean if you're gonna use that much, make sure you're using the good stuff.
You know how much this weighs? Steel is heavy, but this is just a small piece, and it weighs like, man.
That car had been rusted through, patched together, rusted through again, and patched again.
Well, and then it was
3 coats of paint.
Rusting off the backside, so the metal's falling away, and it just put more screen and more Bondo.
The great thing is, though, like the frame is hardly damaged. The engine only has under 80,000 original miles and it runs fantastic. I think it is going to be a really good, like, I feel good. I feel like we paid the right amount for what we got.
We didn't pay for that. I was gone. You paid for that.
I feel like I paid the right amount.
I came home from working. I'd been gone, 3 weeks in Oregon, came home, and there's this thing out in the yard behind her trailer, and the wheels were locked up because the brakes were locked up, and the way she got it off the trailer was she tied it to a tree with a cargo strap and just pulled the trailer out from under it. And it had been loaded onto the trailer with a forklift. So
we got it on.
It's rolling now. The wheels turn. The engine runs.
I haven't made the video yet, but the body and the frame are separated so that we could make a good evaluation. The frame was taken out and pressure washed. So right now it's sitting outside. So before we bring it back in, we got to get things tidy because we don't want to be crawling around in this pile of dirt. I don't know if you guys, should I show them this pile of dirt?
They don't want to see a pile of dirt.
I mean, it's a heaping pile of dirt.
It's just stuff that fell off the car. Yeah.
Yeah. And
what I don't know. There's a video coming up where she flips the car up on its side. the body, and you just see the chunks of rust falling off of it. And she took a big piece of wood. Probably you'll see it. We'll put the video up.
Can you race it around the yard now without the body?
No, there's no steering on it. There's no pedals in it.
There's no
the
pedals.
The pedals in the there's two master cylinders, one for the brake and one for the clutch, and they mount to the body, to the firewall. So we'll probably use that piece of that steel firewall. Probably. She's been cutting all the rust away from it, so we'll probably use that piece because it's all nice for that.
I was looking at it. We might just use it as a pattern.
We might use it as a pattern.
It might be more work to try and reuse it.
But that stuff mounts to the body, so no, we can't drive it around. And the same thing with the steering. The steering column mounts up to the bottom of the dashboard area, so no, you can't drive it the way it is. I mean, if you drove it around, it wouldn't. It's hard enough to drag it around because the steering sometimes goes full one direction and it's going off like this. You're pulling this way.
It's not too bad. It's not.
She gets it across the wet lawn, okay.
Yeah, I just drag it.
But it took it over to the house. I think I did a short on it. It sprayed it off a lot with the.
Oh, did you put that up?
Yeah, I put it up 2 days ago.
Okay.
The power. What do you call that thing? Power wash.
There is another video that is done, ready to put up tomorrow. That shows the body completely off and just the frame. So you'll get to see that. You guys are getting a sneak peek of what's coming soon with our discussion. So yeah, like this project's moving rapidly. I have been hammering away on it. I'm exhausted every day.
She won't leave it alone, and I'm like, I had a lot of stuff to do yesterday, and my appointment went like double the time it usually does in the physical therapy. I stopped the store on the way back, so by the time I got back here, I was whooped. And I just sat down and fallen asleep for the computer. And where the hell was I? And you came up here and just started working without me.
No excuse. Check that out. Look at the
little red thing.
Little red dot.
Little red dot. Those are taillights now.
Whoa. Check it out. It's cool.
Yeah, I guess. So, can I look through this? Oh, you can sort of see through
Mexican Spec is talking about Lester Saber's car. The Fairmont will be on its way. It'll take a little get the title. Tavo is here. Says good evening, afternoon, or whatever time it is, wherever worldwide. We are worldwide.
We are worldwide now. Yeah, he's like, here's the globe. We're here. He's here. He's halfway around. He's in South Australia. Hey, we could drill through and say hi.
I don't think we could.
You don't think we can?
I don't think we have a drill.
Just yell through the hole. Yeah, I don't think that'll work either.
Very, very cool. Space Cat says more Bondo falls off, the higher the mileage and performance. That's right. The weight reduction, getting rid of all this Bondo. That's a clean used car in Massachusetts. Just minor rust. That's right. No frame damage, just body rust.
There's a little bit of frame damage, but it's two small places. We can just cut it out and weld pieces in there. I have faith in that. That's not that bad.
Tom Anderson says a car is like a piñata. Every time you hit a pothole, a piece falls off.
Oh man, that's what you call this car, the piñata.
Piñata. La piñata. Del piñata.
Junior Spec got embarrassed
Piñata
here.
del Campo.
How is he going to read the comments on a live? What? Does he speak English as well as Spanish? I'm sure he speaks Spanish. Goes to school in Mexico. But if he's around you, he probably speaks English just as well.
Mexican Spec, give him a break. You got to slowly work him into it. If he's embarrassed or feeling shy, camera shy, it's okay. You just let him work through the emotional ups and downs of the experience, and next time he'll be more prepared. It's fine. No, I'm not upset about it. It's all good. Everybody gets that. I remember do you remember, like when you went down to see Tony, were you ever...
the first time, it was a little weird because he said he'd be at the gas station. And I drove all the way down there, like an hour and 45 minutes. Got the gas station, no Tony. So I was watching him on the phone. So in there, I put a comment that I was at the gas station because he said he was going to be there. And Kathy read it, said Buffalo Campos at the gas station. They didn't know me yet. So they got in the car on the live with the phone and streamed the drive down to the gas station and pulled up, and there I was. Yeah, it was a little weird. And they, he shook my hand, and we talked for a couple of minutes.
They had no intention of going to the gas station. They were completely lying.
And then
not lying, just they didn't think anybody would take them up on the offer.
Tony was about to leave, and he goes, "Just a minute." He shuts the car off and goes around the back. They were in a Dodge Dart with I think a 273 in it. Sounded really good. And he went around and opened up the trunk, and she's like, "What are you doing?" And he had a Chevy, small block Chevy.
Is that the one on the shelf?
Yeah, I said something about having a small block Chevy. He goes, "Here," and he handed me a manifold. And it's a pretty good manifold. I said, "Man." He goes, "Yeah, you can have it. Thanks." Okay.
He just wanted to get it out of his truck.
So now I have that manifold.
You got a reward.
I have that manifold. So, and then he took off, and he said, "Well, we'll come up here next week. We'll be at the gas station. We'll really be here. And if you want, come back." And I came back. Then every week he invited me back, and I went back for like a year and a half. Every week.
And back and back.
Until I went back to work in Maryland. Then
Do you like this switch any?
Yeah, that's a nice little piece of something, isn't it?
I'll take it out.
Oh, it's a piece of wood. That's British car dash. The dashboard is actually a board.
This is the last you guys are gonna see of this Bondo. It's going in the trash.
A board with wood screws in it. Okay, I need to get a wood screw tool. We don't. Okay. We have every other tool up here.
Oh, not yet. Just you wait. More on the way. My 20-year-old little boy speaks excellent English. Well, that's good.
Where's that?
We all speak the language we know.
Man, this is somebody did this. I mean, the British couldn't use woods like flathead wood screws in a non-flathead position. Oh no, there's two different kinds of screws. Somebody just pulled these out of a bucket somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know. Somebody must have had to fix that.
Yeah, maybe the switch is good. We'll use it for something. Maybe we'll
got a lot of cleanup to do.
Get the Studebaker lights working with a switch instead of a clamp. Well, now what holds it? I took the screws out. What holds it? Habit? Probably habit.
Yeah, that's okay. If you got the screws out, I'll figure out how to do it.
Yeah, Kim, it's stuck. It doesn't come off.
Great.
Well, when I start pulling on it, it's like it's going to start bending in half. So that's not just stuck. It's stuck.
It's not just stuck. It's extra.
And then see, it's got 3 positions. It's weird. Oh, it's a double. It's a single throw, double throw switch, I think. I don't know. There might be a position in the middle. Oh, yeah, there's a position in the middle. It just doesn't stay there real nice. See that? 3 positions. Here, Kim. Where do you want it? Oh, you did drag it over.
I'm gonna bring the whole thing. You're gonna have
the whole shit.
We're gonna open a whole can of worms.
That's not a toolbox. It's a can of worms.
It is. It's a can of worms. Look at this. There's my ASTG A727-904 transmission rebuild revised edition.
We got to put that in wherever the library is.
In the library. Oh,
we don't have a library. See, isn't it 2 positions in ground? I think that's what it is. I think it's a double pole. I don't know.
What it even is.
I forget what you call that kind of switch. It's not a double pole, double throw. What it is it's a low beam and high beam headlight switch. It's on and then on high beams, I think.
Oh, I thought that was flashers of some sort.
Oh, it could be. Well, it's 3 positions. It's off and then 2 on positions.
Oh, look, I found the clipboard. That's good.
Here's some other kind of switch you pulled off of there. That's a pull push thing. Yeah, we got the bucket of parts. We shouldn't put this stuff in the bucket of parts. We should have a fresh bucket here because the fresh bucket. Oh, there's a dead bug in here. I was going to say
hey,
a
he's still living.
dead
Toss him in
bug.
a trash can.
I don't want him in a trash can. He's still living. Okay. I thought it was a dead bug in there, but it's a live bug. It was a stink bug.
Live stink.
A live stink bug. Okay, so when we get that other switch disconnected, we can put it here. Because if we put it in with that rusty pile of stuff, it'll just ruin.
It'll just get ruined. That's probably true.
Oh, power, ground, and source. You're right, buddy Carfano. Yeah, it wouldn't be at ground. The ground would be at the device. Wait a minute. Power? Yeah, you're right. The ground would have to be up there. And it's probably backwards. Is that thing positive ground or negative ground? Or as the British would say, positive earth or negative earth?
It's metric.
Metric? So it's neither ground. Positive nor negative, it's metric?
It's a metric grounded system. Pretty sure.
Heavy Long says 3 poles. Off, on, and maybe. Cutter Down Garage says, I killed a 727 and a 79 Trail Duster. Drove home in reverse. Oh, that must have been fun. Did you race anybody on the way home? Because it's, reverse is a lower gear.
Yeah, you really got a lot of torque in reverse.
Got a lot of torque in reverse.
The things that you collect.
How would the ground be at the device when there's no metal around? Trying to ground to rust is probably difficult. You just screw. Yeah, where's the Bondo pieces? Oh, you're gonna throw those away? Those are souvenirs.
No.
They're not souvenirs.
If anybody wants them, they can pay for shipping. I'll send them to them.
Well, we'll have a contest. And somebody can win those 2 pieces of Bondo.
2 pieces of Bondo. I don't think there's any value there.
Tony, UTG, he used to have contests and give stuff away, and he'd give away used cheese. Well, not really used. It was just cheese that had already been eaten off of, but it was the rest of it. And he'd send somebody the cheese. That's a pretty good joke,
We're not selling cheese.
No, but used Bondo's better than used cheese. At least you can hang it on the wall and say, hey, this is off of whatever the hell it's off of. I don't know if it's a British car or an American car. Once you put all that Bondo on it, doesn't it become an American car?
More Bondo.
Hit me, Mom. Cutter, I have a buddy drive 6 miles in reverse as well. Whitworth ground. Oh, yeah, it's a Whitworth. I forgot about Whitworth. I got some Whitworth wrenches around here somewhere, but I don't know right where they are. What is this? Cutter Down Garage says, what's a snowstorm? Snowstorm.
Snowstorm?
Oh, is that the... Well, at least it wasn't a real bad 727 eruption. Because once the sprag goes, it comes flying through the floor.
Reverse, you could still fix it.
Yeah.
This transmission's still good.
Bondo Billy.
What fails to make it so you only have reverse? Does anything?
What fails so you only have reverse? Forward? No. Do you need Whitworth tools to work on the Triumph? You know what? We found enough SAE and metric that fit close enough that and everything is so rusty that the heads on the bolts are bigger anyway.
You just hammer them on there.
Just hammer the socket on; it'll work anyway.
Yep.
Use the Knippet something.
Get it harder, you'll get it. Ow!
What happened?
My finger. Ow! That hurt.
See, Gene Stevenson's here. Okay, somebody else from
Hello.
almost halfway around the world.
Hello.
Very, very close.
People from all over the world are here because they're done and they're cleaning up.
But at Zero would get the lion's share. The FUBAR Mexico Spec didn't want any import duty issues, so he said no. Instead, he sends UTG Tang.
Okay. Now.
Oh, Mexican Spec says all of those Triumphs are British. None were made in the U.S. Well, see, my argument there is it was remade in the U.S. out of Bondo.
I mean, yeah.
So it's like half American made.
It's all American.
So made out of in somebody's yard. Hacks of Bondo on it. And I don't think anybody, I didn't even believe how thick that Bondo was till it started falling off. And I was just like, I was kind of joking that it was made out of Bondo until it fell apart. And then I'm like, you know, it really is made out of Bondo.
A lot of Bondo.
Mexican Smet says, I'm sweating my butt off. My room is hot.
Hey, we're warm finally.
Do you have air conditioning in the car? Take a tube from your dash and run it in the window. Oh, now we have a toolbox over here.
What do you think?
See, originally, that's what I got these toolboxes for. This was a workspace, and it's turned into a place just to pile
I'm looking
shit.
at the camera. What do you think? Can you work with it there?
If the camera will extend that far.
Okay. Or should I turn it so they can't see it? But,
I'm going to open the drawers and hold the camera over it, I think.
Well, I just want you to be able to see.
Okay.
What do you guys think? We'll work with it. Let's just practice. We'll see how it goes.
Oh, Daryl B. Good evening. Says Google says the Spitfire changed to negative ground in 1964.
There you go.
Did that engine start backwards? No, you had it the right way. Yeah. Mexican Spec, I don't have a window in my room. That is why it's hot. Oh, okay. Man, that's not good. Dean Stevenson, we British Commonwealth, ERs call it GRP. GRP, what is that? Something, I don't know. Grip. I don't know. All four of my workbenches are not, storage. That's what happens to me. I've always said that. Every flat spot turns into a storage area. My toolbox, when I had my Snap-on box and top box at the airplane factory, people would just come along and set stuff on top of my box. And then if I can't open my box, and you got to open the top to get the drawers open. So I was always clearing people's stuff off, and I got really sick of it. So I said, I'm going to build a top to that box. It's like a pyramid, so nobody can set anything on it. But I never did, but it was always a problem. Then here, I just don't want top boxes because then they turn into storage areas and you can't open a box. So this was a workspace. Now it's a mess. I'd like it to get to the point where we could wheel this over to a car and use it. Okay, so, this is a disgrace, Kim.
I know. That's why we're here cleaning.
No, this is a disgrace.
It's terrible.
This drawer was my sockets all in really good order. It's no longer in any order. The sockets are just dumped in there.
It has become unworkable. We need to get things put back.
So let's see if I can carry this over here. Oh, why is this wire so short? I don't know.
It is, because it's a webcam.
See, I told you. This is I can't do this.
Let me get the other camera.
Okay, this is terrible. The wire isn't long enough, and then I try to
just set the web camera up normal. I will set up camera 2.
Okay.
So then
it's
going to take me a minute.
Then I try to move it, and it's backwards. And
it's going to take me.
Now they got a preview of the mess.
Even
the trunk lid of my Valiant, being so big and flat, is currently accumulated a mass of parts. Our Valiant, the same thing, but we're going to fix that problem when we're done with the aluminum car, because that won't have a trunk lid anymore. It'll have a bed.
It becomes problematic.
It'll become
no doubt about it.
Let Kim clean it. She get it up. You know, the thing is about Mexican Sex says camera 2. Look at these rich YouTubers.
Yes, we are the elite YouTubers. You could tell by the way that we work on, like the other day when we were just wrapping $17,000 worth of carbon fiber around a new Mustang.
What?
I was watching a donut.
Oh, and they were using $17,000 worth of
carbon fiber on a Mustang.
Oh, God.
And
I don't think I've ever used that much carbon fiber.
I never bought a car that was $17,000. They're just adding body stuff.
Hey, look what I just found.
I don't know what that is.
This is a tool. Oh, commercial's coming up. You can set this on an airplane spar, and then you set the smart level on top of here, because the smart level is too wide to fit down in where the spar is. So you set this, and this was machined, so this is parallel to this. You set that down on the spar, and you can move it along the spar with the smart level and make sure the spar is straight, not got a twist in it. Okay, we got commercials.
Not got a twist in it. Very nice. Well, it's good to hear that you got a tool.
Oh, man. What the hell is this? Oh, I know what this is.
There's a lot of mess to clean up around here.
Okay, maybe the what is a spar? Yeah. Oh, the spar. Yeah, I talk like everybody should know what the inside of a wing looks like. There's a main structural member, the length of the wing, that carries the flight loads like this. Some big wide wings have like more than one spar. Excuse me, more than one spar. Most light planes have one main spar that's right where the center lift is. So that carries the load. Well, when you built the spar, we built the spar with a twist in it so that I'm really getting into the weeds here, I know. So the wing twists. So out at the tip, it's a lower angle of attack than in the center, because the wing will stop flying because of angle of attack. So when the angle, it's actually called the angle of incidence. When the angle of incidence is high in the middle, and then as you go out, it twists down. So it'll stop flying in the center first, and it'll keep flying out near the tip, because that's where the ailerons are. And you still have control then. When the airplane starts to stall and nose over, you still have aileron control. So that's really important. So when you make the spar, let's say it has 1.5 degrees twist in it. You want to check along all its stations to make sure it has the correct twist. And if it doesn't, it fails. You have to fix it or make a new one. So anyway, I used to check every one of them myself, and that's a tool I used. Okay, so I know I got kind of into the weeds there. What's this? 21SC says, have a good weekend. Are you taking off? Thanks for stopping by. I'm happy to see you here. This is a 1/2-inch drive off of a extension, I think, that's snapped off.
Sorry, I was doing stuff.
So this is what happens when you buy Chinese tools. They're cheap, and you can buy 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 of them for the price of one. But sometimes you break one, but it's not a big deal.
Every once in a while, Kim tries a little too hard.
It goes from Kim fixes things to Kim breaks things, right? Hey, maybe you broke that. Maybe I broke that.
No, it was me.
Obviously, it's sheared off.
I was there. When I break your tools, I don't throw them away. I set them someplace so that I can take responsibility for the damage that I have caused. Because I don't want to just throw things away and not tell you about it, because that's mean. But I knew.
Buddy Carfile says all those sockets not on their holders make my brain hurt.
Yeah,
you know what?
Make his hurt too.
Oh, me too. When I see this, I go, I'm not going to try to straighten this out. I'm going to take, once this top is off, I'm going to take everything out of the drawer, put it up here. I'm going to clean this out. For some reason, this drawer has a stiff spot right there.
Here, open it way up. Let me see if there's something wrong with this
roller. I want to, once I have all this weight out of here, I can pull the drawer. And I can find out what the problem is.
This roller here is all sticky.
Well, it's stickier on this side.
Okay, let me check.
So anyway,
it probably needs better lubrication.
I want to take everything out of this drawer, fix whatever the issue is, and then neatly put everything back in here so we can mess it all up again.
Whatever they used for lubrication has turned to muck.
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 Kim called that muck. Is that okay? Well, here we have some starting fluid. You can.
I got some. Can you pull?
No, we need some finishing fluid. Not starting fluid. Here we go. Finishing fluid.
Okay, open it up a little more if you can. Does it go further?
I don't think I'm gonna tip the box over on it. Here we go. At least it was a wobble extension. It was a wobble extension. You noticed that.
It's not just wobble now. It's broke.
Okay, we got here. Dean Stevenson, compulsory Kia EV ads. Kia EV ads. I've seen a couple of Kia EVs around. Okay, so he gets 2 points, right?
Yeah. Okay, push it in and see if that feels any different.
Yeah, now it's bound up over on this side.
Yep.
It's still bound up, but it's not. It's still not good, but it's better. WD's probably not the. Well, maybe that's.
It's a start.
It's something it's melting the.
It is. It's
the
melting
muck.
the muck.
What did you call it? Muck.
Muck.
Yeah. Let's see here. Carbon fiber spars were being trailed in. I don't know where that is doing something. Back in '96, we had to do quality assurance for the material dependable compression resistance C's or something. Yeah, I don't. It's better, but it's still messed up on this side.
Right. Okay. This side, huh?
Well, it's got a lot of weight in it. Right?
Yeah, but there's.
I know it's the point where you can't use it. Yeah.
Can you?
It's still messed up over there. Well, I've got an even pull on both sides. If you want to
pull it as far as it'll go.
There.
That's it, huh?
That's it, and it's always been like that. I mean, you can't come all the way out.
No, but I can't get the.
My aircraft designs, I really stayed away from the structural composites, simply because the quality control becomes a big problem. Because you got to really have people. The composites are layers and layers of epoxy and fiberglass or carbon fiber, or some other material, and you can't have voids in there. And if you have people that really don't know what they're doing, you just waste a lot of materials because you end up with voids in there, and then the spars or the structural members fail. And aluminum, it's pretty easy to teach people how to build stuff right, and then to
right. It was quality control.
And then the quality control is
if you cannot assure quality control, then you cannot use the material, certify the material. Just because one person who's an expert can do it doesn't mean you can find a factory that can produce that type of quality at a reasonable price.
Yeah, I got to get out of her way. I got to read this. I'm getting behind in the chat. Kala says, seeing that end of extension reminded me of this cute tension wrench we had. It had a push-through square drive through to the other sides, so it could be used for left-hand threads. Ah. Tim Stevenson, imagine the hassle of getting all that carbon fiber stuff perfect. Huge issue with autoclaves. Didn't get off the ground, and I can understand why.
This is better.
Hippie Long, O'Reilly's, 2 points. Vintage Adventure, just coming on. I got a Harbor Freight ad. Man, I wish we still had a Harbor Freight here. They were moving, and they closed one store and never opened the other one
anymore.
No, I think it's been here for a while. I don't even know what it is. That could be a drink.
It is a drink.
Or it could be
transmission fluid
or something.
Not transmission fluid, but we're not going to risk it.
Let's see here.
Okay, your drawer is better. Go ahead and see if you can move forward.
So Vintage gets 2 points for that.
All right. Everyone who got an advertisement, if you tell us who it was, we'll give you 2 points. You can collect your points. I don't keep track of the points. I don't got a spreadsheet. I don't got a database. You keep track of your points. It's easy. Just keep a little tally every time I award points. If you do something good, I'll give you some points. And then we're going to real prizes, not big chunks of Bondo or old cheese. We're going to make some prizes here. I don't know what it's going to be, but we're working on it. I got my eyes open. My brain is processing. And someday there'll be prizes. Oh, I hear rain.
I don't know. I hear wind.
Maybe that's. Oh, is that tree?
It's a tree beating
I thought
on
I cut that tree down.
Oh, okay. Yeah, wobbly socket. We used to call it wobble socket. We used to call it a wobbly socket. Titan submarine. The Titan submarine was made of carbon fiber. Yeah, some engineering issues there, some quality control or something. But nothing wrong with carbon fiber. But like I say, the engineering and the quality control are
critical, hypercritical on a product like that.
Yep.
You can't just F around or you'll find out.
Dean Stevenson says my hometown here. Well, that must have been a place he mentioned. Can't beat good old-fashioned aluminum. Imagine if composites come around first, and now we have this new miracle material called aluminum. It'd be the greatest stuff that ever came along. I'm waiting for like what Star Trek had. Didn't they have transparent aluminum? Man, think of the windshields we could make. You could make the Triumph a big RC Spitfire drone. Dean Stevenson, I was working on carbon fiber push rods for cone penetrometer testing of Earth. But the dependent quality of every part is massive. Tim says we have 4 Harbor Freight stores in town now. Move one of them here. I sure miss the place. Of course, I haven't spent anywhere near as much money on tools because I can't walk in a Harbor Freight and just buy the one thing I need. I got to walk through the whole store. Yeah, give me 2 of everything. Stray bullet. I have 1,153 points. I've been keeping precise count. Kim, do you think he's
good job?
Good job. Olive's here. Good evening. Hey, Buff and Kim, everyone. I have just seen an ad for Husky liners that they made, and that'd make 101 points I know of.
Wait, did he say Husky liners?
That was Olive said.
Okay, wait a minute.
Husky liners.
They know these things.
Husky liners.
Oh, there you go. We're not using Husky liners, but maybe we should. Having good liners.
Oh, the liners. Okay.
Liners that fit your trash can. It's worth paying a couple extra bucks for something that's good and tough and fits. He always gets so mad when we buy trash bags that don't fit. Man.
You know, we got in our kitchen, we have these cans. It's supposed to be like 17-gallon kitchen size. And then you buy a 17-gallon bag. And you got to stretch the hell out of it, and it rips because it doesn't fit over the can. And then the can used to be flat, and then I bought a new one, and it's tapered. So it tips over every damn time because the bottom's so small. So I got sick of it all.
Don't cheap out, buy the right one.
And I just started buying 30-gallon liners and put them in a 17-gallon trash. And then when it overfills, you just pull it up a little bit, put some more in there, and tie it off and take it to the dump. And it just saves so much heartache to buy the bigger ones. Well, here we got a big can where you almost can't buy them big enough. You have to buy I don't even know what they are.
I bought them. They're huge. They're expensive, but they're worth it.
There's some kind of, what are they called? Some kind
of... they're garbage can liners.
Yeah, they're made for, what do they call them? Construction site.
Oh, we use those too.
What the hell is this? Is this like a big attachment for a hair cutting machine?
That's how we scratch your back.
With this? We're going to bond this to a handle. Or no, to something that vibrates. Oh, I know what to put this on to scratch my back.
What's that? Sawzall.
A sawzall. Oh, yeah, there we go. I was going to say an air chisel, but sawzall would work.
Either way.
This on a sawzall. Scratching my back. Yeah, I don't know. What is this thing, really?
That is... Does anybody know what that is for really? Is there a brand name?
What is this thing? Yeah, there's a brand name.
I do know what it is, but I don't want to give it away.
I'm not going to read the name of the brand name until I know what it is. What is this thing? See, it's curved, and somebody will know. Let's see here.
I know what it is.
I think that, Husky bed liners. Oh, that kind of liners, okay.
Bed liners?
See, I think the company makes rubber floor mats. Oh, okay.
Oh, Husky floor mats are fantastic. Yep. I have those.
You have them.
I got a set with that Subaru, and they are fantastic. They really are nice. I can offer an endorsement. Let's
see here. Tavo says, I have 2-hour drive to my nearest equivalent to Harbor Freight. Big chain here called Bunnings. Well, that's interesting.
There's some other
like
nice
In
opportunities.
Canada, they have I forget what they're called, but the same thing in Canada. But all the same products, but they're painted different colors in here. Straight bullet. I don't really need any more tools anyway. Maybe a new floor jack. You know what? I have never said I don't need more tools my whole life.
Yeah.
I've just
had
to buy stuff. Hippie Long says, I get good tools solely through my local pawn shop. Oh, I can't walk in a pawn shop.
That's a good person to have.
I want everything.
That's a good person to have on your radar. Make friends with your local pawn shop.
Olive says that's oh wait a minute, I missed it. Buff, as Dean says, wanted to avoid hitting 32 kV oil-filled underground power wires, 32 kilovolt oil-filled underground power wires by using carbon fiber 3/4 inch diameter solid 39-inch lengths of tube. You could smack into the ground with an 8-pound. You know what I used? We had this 100,000 psi fiberglass rods that are pultruded. If you know what pultrusions are, it's like extruded except they pull them through. And they were 100,000 psi, and that's what they're made for, doing stuff with electric wiring. But I used them for landing gear legs, and they were wonderful because they were lightweight. When they fracture, they start to break, but the airplane doesn't fall on the ground and do a bunch of damage. They just fracture, but they're still there, and then you can replace them. So I kind of know what that stuff is. Olive says it's a brisket claw.
It is.
It is.
You're right. You get 5 points. That you must have really dug to figure that out.
It's the name of the company is Ignite. Ignite.
Very, very well done, Olive. She figured it out.
Brisket claw.
Yeah, it's for tearing up
then
meat.
Buddy Carafano doesn't win because he said it's a hemorrhoid scraper.
It is not a hemorrhoid scraper.
So I say he's not going to win that one.
Although, I guess if you had hemorrhoids, you probably would want something like that to scrape.
Does he get a point just for being silly?
No.
No.
Okay, 1.
1 point for being silly?
Yes.
Retired Inspector Bruce says, I shred pork shoulder for pulled pork. Man.
That's exactly what that's for. So who said that?
That was Inspector Bruce.
You're right, Bruce. That's what.
So does he get something for that? Just like one after another.
Okay, yeah, you can have 2 points.
He can have 2 points?
Yes.
Olive says you rip up your brisket and pulled pork with those.
Yep.
Dean Stevenson says it's his comb. Yeah, it's kind of looked like a comb to me. I thought it was the thing that went on a hair cutting machine. The attachments, you go, it leaves hair that's this long. like the first day in the basic training when you get your hair cut. Man, when I went, and Bruce knows this because he was there the same time I was there. People, this is in the 70s, early 70s, everybody had long hair. All these big afros that were like twice as big as people's heads, and everything. They come along the first day and just about 5 sweeps over your head, and everybody's head looked like it was this big, and nobody had hair anymore. You couldn't figure out who anybody was. But it was a machine like this one. Just took the hair off. That was it. And then you know what they do? They charge you for the haircut. You got to pay them for that. That's okay. I call Hippie Long. It's a set of meat shredders. Buddy, ouch. Dean Stevenson, Bunnings, where good service is only the beginning. So in New Zealand, they have Bunnings as well. Same thing as Australia. Tell us if that's 2 hours each way, 105 miles, 4-hour round trip. 105 miles. What's taking you so long? No, I know it's a 4-hour round trip. There's the time machine that's on the floor, the time machine control. But then of course the police find you. Hey, can you get speeding tickets in Australia? I bet you can. They probably do that everywhere. I have tools that I've forgotten about, some that I haven't seen in years. Well, me too, but then all of a sudden Kim will be doing something. I'll go, hey, I got the perfect tool for that. I'll pull it out, and it'll be something I bought 5 or 6 or 7 years ago, and it's brand spanking new. She's the first one to use it, but you know what? I have it.
And when I'm done, it sure ain't new anymore.
It's not new anymore?
No, I make sure you know it's not new anymore, because I am a slob, a messy person. I know. I make messes. Look, I give them tools back. They look like this. Here, show them that tool.
Tavo says.
That's how they get them back.
Tavo says, do Bunnings New Zealand actually offer service, Dean? It's fun. It's funny. You walk into some Harbor Freight, and there's people in there that really know the inventory. They might not know what all the tools do, but they know the inventory real well. But there's some people that are clueless, so you never know what you're going to get. Okay, this is what Kim says. This is how the tools come back sometimes. You see, there's a broken off bolt, and the head is stuck in the wrench. It's probably a Whitworth head that's rusty, stuck in a, what is this, 11 millimeter? Yeah, it's 11 millimeter wrench. So yeah, so we gotta extract that.
Sorry.
Oh, it's 106. Actually, I've traveled the nation observing everyone's barbecue technology. Oh, okay. You ever been to Santa Maria, California, where they have the Santa Maria style barbecue? Santa Maria style barbecue. What do they call? Where they cook the tri-tips. And now that's kind of spread out. They still didn't have it when I was in Ohio. No tri-tips yet, but it's come to Tennessee. Now I can buy tri-tips here. My son cooks them. Of course, we live like this close to Santa Maria, so he understood how to do all that. He and sure one of my daughter's friends work there. I get preferential treatment. Dean Stevenson says 212 degrees, Olive. Boiling point. Yeah, it depends. 212 or 100. What's the boiling point in Kelvin? People are looking at each other right now. Kelvin? Kelvin? What's Kelvin? Oh. Well, we have that cup. I guess it's in my room. The cup that has all the Kelvin listed on it. What happens at all these different temperatures, Kelvin? Has the body temperature and I don't remember what they all are. But it's sitting there on my desk. Dean Stevenson, Toggle says, Dean, over here it's mostly I don't know, not my department yet. It's not in my job description. Man, I know what we used to do with people when we hire them. Everything we do here is in your job description. Can you handle that? That's like before they get hired. Should I tell you? I can tell a story about a woman that I hired.
Oh, don't tell Nick.
But I'm not getting any. But she said to me, I said, do you have any trouble driving like a one-ton dually pickup with a trailer behind it, like up to another site and back? Will you be able to do that? And she goes, oh yeah. She goes, I have a CDL. And she goes, in fact, I'm a CDL instructor. So I took that like, shouldn't have a problem driving a pickup truck with a trailer behind it. Well, the first day she had a hard time. First day she drove the truck, it was inside a building, and she had a real hard time backing it out of the building with the trailer. So I backed it out for her, and it kind of surprised me because she could look out the back window and see the whole trailer. It was a flatbed trailer. She left, and she crashed the thing. Well, she didn't tie a load down, and shit went all over the road and everything, and it was a mess. And she started blaming somebody else that didn't tie the load down. I said, you're a CDL instructor. I said, who's responsible to tie that load down? And she goes, I don't know. I was a school bus instructor. So there she was with you. Excuses already. Oh, man. Small towns with 30-mile-an-hour speed limits are what takes so long. Oh, yeah, in Maryland, when I leave Maryland and I go into Virginia, right where I go into Virginia, the shortest route is through, it's all on 2-lane roads through all these little towns. And man, it takes forever, but it's a whole lot less miles than going around on an interstate. But if I take the interstate, man, I zip right through it. It's more miles, but it takes a lot less time. And going through all those small towns with stop signs and 20-mile-an-hour speed limits and 25-mile-an-hour speed limits, and cops sitting there just looking to get somebody, speed trap tickets. Man, I go around that stuff. But I don't know if you have that choice. You probably don't. I can't remember all the tools until I see them. Yep. Stray Bullet says, tri-tip. We got more ads coming up. I'm going to take a break here while the ads play. Okay, and then I'm going to start cleaning up. I don't know what to do with all. Can I take all this stuff and put it somewhere?
That stuff just ignore. This stuff is the tools.
No, but I'm going to take everything from this drawer.
Oh, shit.
Oh, maybe I won't do that. I won't do it now. No, that'll make you mad.
Well, I didn't know that's what you were going to do.
I'll do it later. I'll do it later. Now's not the time.
Well, see what you can do about getting some.
Okay, so now we got to show the rest of the toolbox. Okay.
Well, I'm not ready for that. Just get some things organized. Put them away. You can't put anything away.
Well, I know. I look up here and it's a mess.
Yeah. You
told
me 100 times. You'll clean up if I do work.
It's a mess. Okay, I'll just start unmessing. Who the hell's ching-chinging me on my phone? Let's see here. Yeah, chat's getting away from me. That cut something else on me. Cut something else on the East Coast. Oh, it says I have not been to the Rockies or West Coast. My experience gets spotty past the Mississippi, with the exception of, I don't know what that is. Hippie Long depends on altitude. Oh yeah, because of the boiling point. Oh, it says add 273 to the centigrade for Kelvin, so 373 Celsius. Doing the math, yeah. Stray Bullet says I'd be in charge of giving myself a raise, if that's the case. Dean Stevens says Darwin to Alice Springs, record by Brisbane racer, motorcycle dealer Les Taylor, and a salesman, ex-Spitfire pilot Dick Rendell's Jaguar X20 was a well-kept secret. News of it soon spread. Also, is there something like that? Hippie Long, pickup and trailer or short wheelbase, harder to back up than an 18-wheeler. Well, this was a 1-ton pickup, so it's kind of a long pickup. And then the trailer was a 24-foot dual-axle trailer. It was a flatbed. So she could look back there and see the whole trailer through the back window. And she had to back out a window. You don't back through a window. A big roll-up door, and it was a 12-foot wide door. And she couldn't get through that door. I was surprised that somebody with a CDL couldn't do that. And it's not like, I remember being a kid and renting engine hoists. We'd have an engine hoist. You hook the back of a car and tow it. And you try to back up that thing, it would go, it was extremely hard to back up because it was so short. But, you know, a 24-foot trailer, I'd expect somebody with a CDL to understand how to back it up. So my point is she's probably not telling me the truth in the interview. And, of course, in an interview, I didn't go check her driving record, you know.
Just assume she would say it, and I mean, a bus driver is a CDL, but it's not.
Well, yeah, it was a CDL, but she didn't say I was a school bus instructor. She goes, "Oh, I have a CDL. In fact, I'm a CDL instructor." Oh, okay. End of story. Did you take that the spray? I know you took it somewhere. No, it's on the floor. No, it's okay. I found it.
Just trying to get some things.
I'm going to try to do something while I'm reading chat, which means I'm going to miss some chat.
I really appreciate that, because we got a lot that needs to get done. You know, the sooner we get this done, the sooner we can do more work of other kinds.
What is this, Stray Bullet? It's a fairly common name for baby boys. I don't know what this is about. Lester Lasabre, Mexican probably. I call him Lasabre because he bought a Mexican
we call him
Fairmont. So I decided it's got to be in Spanish. Lasabre. Of course, I don't know. That might have some meaning in Spanish, but I don't even know what it means.
What, Lasabre?
Yeah, it probably doesn't mean the sword. See, this is the tray that I keep wrenches in, and it's extremely dirty. So I'm trying to wipe it out and get it so it's not so filthy in there. I have way too many wrenches. So instead of lining them all up perfect, you know, like from 7 or 6 millimeter or something up to like 19 millimeter, what I do is I put the small wrenches in one of these. Like this one says 8 through 14 millimeter. So, and then this one right here is an SAE. It says 5/8 through 3/4. So they're at least kind of organized. So when you reach in there, it's like, okay, I want a bigger wrench. Okay, I want a smaller wrench. I want SAE. I want millimeter. You know, so that's kind of what I do. So I'm trying to put this back so that it's somewhat organized. And Kim obviously had,
because we're cleanup crew,
she had the smaller wrenches out because She had the quarter through 9/16 and 8 through 14, but she had all kinds of stuff dumped in them.
Well, I was working on
so
three different vehicles is the problem. I was working on your car, and we pulled it out and didn't clean up, and then I was working on the Bronco, and then I
know. There's a lot of stuff to do.
It started to rain, so I pulled in. I'm just saying, we've been busy doing a lot of things. Some nights you just have to stop and get things tidied up.
So you should call him Furman. Oh, by the way, you know what I started calling my car? And it's somebody in here came up with the name, but everybody liked it. Was the Zed sled. So, see, now I get to say Zed. See, I get to say Zed, but it was the Zed sled. I think that's pretty good. That's a 13. It goes in there.
Oh, buddy asked, what's the largest wrench size you have?
Largest
size matters.
Size matters.
So are we counting adjustable wrenches that open up to big sizes? Because we've got some pretty big ones. Or are you counting fixed wrenches with sizes? Because that's going to be two different answers. Because we'll have to get the measuring tool out for that one.
They can't say all the letters. They can't say all the letters. They call the Fairmont in Mexico Furman. Furman. Fairmont. Oh, the T just doesn't come out. That's 13. Oh. So.
Because I'm pretty sure I got a 24-inch pipe wrench over at the house.
24-inch?
No adjustable. No adjustable. Yeah, I have a 24-inch.
24-inch, like 2 feet.
Yeah. It'll take apart 2.5-inch threaded pipe.
One of the biggest wrenches I had
stand on it.
Somewhere in here,
up and down.
And I haven't seen it lately, so I bet it's in that old nasty Craftsman, or it's a Craftsman and a Snap-on box sitting there that I've had for 40 or 50 years. And then the mice got in it, and made nests, and so it needs to be taken apart, fixed. But I have a socket that I think is a 2 1/4 inch. I don't know why I bought inch, because it fit, because it's metric, but there's one nut, big nut, holds the flywheel on the back of a Mazda rotary engine. And that's probably one of the biggest ones I have.
This one's a 26.
Yeah, but can you imagine a 2 1/4 inch socket? Or 2 3/4? I don't know. It's
we don't have it, though.
Well, it's somewhere around here.
Oh.
I know I bought that thing.
I have a 32 millimeter socket in my box. The red box that's for that one's for that's for the nut that goes on the axle of certain cars, I think. 32?
What is that? 32?
32, I think, is the biggest one I have in my set. I could be wrong, though. Oh, I'll get it.
Can you put that in a vise and do a removal?
I thought it was funny.
Yeah, it is funny. That's why I showed it to everybody.
That's the one I need, too.
My biggest is 65 millimeter socket.
In my defense, too, is he tells me, don't put away dirty tools. Well, they're all
dirty. Which I'm glad she doesn't she does stick some dirty stuff back in here, but I'd rather she not do that. Where's the, this is, that tray's out, too.
I try not to do it as much.
So here's a filthy tray that's got a lot of I gotta clean this one up too. Yeah, this is a mess. You need the green
spray?
That green spray?
No, you're using CRC.
Oh, you wanted it? Or
No.
Oh.
I wanted to know if you need me to go get it.
No, it's right here.
Okay.
It's the one I got off the floor a minute ago.
I've been running in circles for, an hour already? I'm a little bit
Dean
winded.
Stevens says Zephyr instead of never Zed. Well, it's not Zedfur, it's Zephyr. So, but I'd still call it the Zed sled. I kind of like it. When I worked with the British guys, that airplane was called the Zephyr. So they all had names for as they improved the airplane. The first one was like Z1 and then Z2 and Z3. And when I was flying, it was Z6. And then later they came to the U.S. and they flew in the U.S. with the new one that I'd seen in England when I was there when they were building it. And it was Z7. So I kind of got used to that Z and I kind of liked it. And I don't know. It sounded good to me. So it's just like I learned to drive around roundabouts. Yeah, roundabouts down there in southern hemisphere. But the roundabouts, I learned to drive around those in England. So when you come to a roundabout, you go to the left. Well, I come back to America, and the first roundabout I hit, it's like, no, go to the right. It's the only thing I ever had that feeling with. It's like, oh yeah, you got to go this way. Well, of course, now I don't have any problem with
Buddy
it.
Carphone asked what's the smallest wrench. So, I already know, and it's not the smallest, but I already know that in 1/4 inch drive, we have a 4.5 inch, or no, 4.5 millimeter. That's pretty small. But I know that we have like one of those custom little screwdriver sets that's got little nut drivers. It goes smaller still. I don't know if it goes down to 3 or 2.5 millimeter.
That little tiny set, the green set that I have in the house.
Yeah. It goes smaller.
It's meant for working on.
I can't imagine anything is smaller than about 3 millimeter, or else it'd be. We've got all the small, as small as it gets.
That small set, that was another one of those things I bought. I think I bought it just to have, but I used it a lot, so I'm glad I bought it.
How small? All of it. There's nothing smaller than what we own.
Oh, there probably is. You ever work on a watch?
I have a little.
Oh, man.
They get small.
There's people that do that for a living, work on like Rolexes and stuff. It's like, man. Well, there's a guy that's been in here sometimes. His name's Gary. And he's been a friend of mine for ages. And he's the guy that works on the robotics. And when he solders in a microscope with this. I said, I couldn't do that if I had to. I'd shake. He goes, well, if I ever start shaking, he goes, I won't have a job. But all the engineers, so he's my age, he's 71. And he says, all the young engineers that are there, they're just amazed that he can even do that work. But he solders under a microscope. Little tiny, tiny stuff. Amazing. Tavo says the smallest combination wrench is 1/4 inch. Yeah, combination wrenches. You know, I got in a bad habit of calling those things box open. Box open.
Smallest is 1/4? Isn't there a 3/16?
No, he says his smallest is 1/4.
Oh, no, I think we go smaller than 1/4 even.
We may. I'm sure.
Combination wrench?
Combination wrench, we may.
What's it here? I'll look, because there's a pretty tiny one here. What's this one? This one's 3/16, this little Craftsman. Give him a shot.
Oh, yeah, and my ignition wrenches. See, I've got one of these.
This one's 13/64. Okay, oh, this one's even smaller.
I've got one in here, one of these bins that says ignition wrenches. And you see these little guys. They're that one is 3/16.
Yeah, I want to find a 1/4 just for comparison. This here is a 1/4 inch combination wrench. And this one here.
What is it?
It's a 5/32.
Yes, this is what you used to work on distributors and ignition. It come in packets called ignition wrenches. And back in the day when I was 17 and I was buying stuff, there were no electronic ignitions. Everything was points and distributors and stuff. You really had to have that.
Thanks, everybody, for stopping in on a weeknight. We're just cleaning in the shop.
Oh, late on a weeknight, too.
But it's fun to...
Of course, down under, it's sometime in the afternoon or something, I think. It comes for, what is this? I'm sure that I have an 1/8 inch combination. Okay, I'm getting behind the chat because I'm paying attention to what I'm doing, which is cleaning up. I like cleaning all the tools and making the toolbox nice. And I'm going to have fun pulling that top drawer out and cleaning that whole thing up and organizing those sockets because this is the worst shape they've ever been in.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I've been tearing into stuff.
Well, Kim doesn't put things away. And I know that.
You told me don't put it away dirty.
I've told her that I'd put the stuff away. But I had no idea how messy she was.
Yeah, but I get it all done.
But she had no idea how what's the word? Persnickety I am about where the tools
you're
have
the right
to be.
amount of persnickety.
No,
I don't fault you as being more persnickety than
that's in the wrong one. That's there.
So you are the right amount.
Well, so
I am the slob. I get it.
To me, the shop was almost my whole life. I bought tools, so I see my tools like on the floor and dirt and walking on them. I'm like, oh, those are my tools. But then I know they got to be used.
This is tough work.
I know they got to be used.
It's really difficult work.
That's really what they're for, is to be used.
Getting the grind, but I appreciate that there's a time and a place to stop. Man. And say, okay, it's too messy. Let's. I gotta plant these vegetables before the time gets away. This
is a Snap-on 9/16 wrench. It's a little cruddy looking. It has a date on it. I think it has a date on it. 6. Which 6 is this? I gotta go look. I gotta go look at my chart.
Okay. I'm going to check out Vintage Adventures Drive. Just watch for my next video on Sunday. I'll be working on a 73 CUDA for a buddy. It's a bit rough, but man, is it cool. Yeah, 73 CUDA is a heck of a project. No matter how bad it is, it's still a 73 CUDA. Vintage Adventure says, my old boss had an ignition wrench in his toolbox. I always wondered why he had one in a machine shop working on humongous machines.
Okay, this is a 9/16 Snap-on wrench. It's not rusty, but it probably had some little rust pits on it, but it's been used enough that they're smoothed out. And somebody had stamped, I got it on eBay, and somebody had stamped the name Villa, V-I-L-L-A on it. Well, I don't usually buy wrenches that have names scraped in them or stamped in them or something. But this one, where I lived in San Luis Obispo, there was an old guy there, an old man named Villa, when I was young guy, a young mechanic, and his name was Villa. And when I saw that, I go, man, I wonder if that was his. Well, it's a 1956 date, and that's why I bought it, because every time I see that wrench, I don't know if it was his, but it reminds me of him, and he was a really good guy. So it's a Villa wrench. Maybe it was his. I always think about that. Stray Bullet says, Buff would have a corner if you ever saw one of my toolboxes.
Uh-oh.
Jay Leno one night was one of his videos. He was talking about his toolbox and how he kind of has a hard time finding stuff. The guy he's working with, he opened up his toolbox. Everything was perfect. I mean, it was organized as you can get. And Jay just laughed. He goes, oh, no, mine doesn't look like this. But the guy was like, even worse than I am about organization in the toolbox.
I am not against organization. I respect organization. I'm just terrible at it.
Okay, this I'm going to dump out and start over because there's way too much dirt in the bottom of this tray. Yeah. PFI spout out, spit out an Allen key. Buddy Carfano, I got wrenches I bent for certain jobs. Only problem is I have no clue what their use is anymore. Man, I have a, I don't know where it is. I think it was a 1/2 inch, a combination wrench. It might have been 7/16. No, I think it's half. And it's bent, so it's like a U. It's not quite all the way up. It's like this, and the handle is longer than the box end. And what that was for was small block Fords that had air conditioning, because the compressor is right over the thermostat housing, and you could reach around the thermostat housing and undo that bolt. I used it a lot back in the radiator shop days, and those cars were everywhere. And I just got tired of, I mean, you're either going to have a wrench like that, which nobody makes, or you're going to have to take the air conditioning compressor off to get at the thermostat, which is ridiculous. So I made a wrench to do that.
The tool you need.
And
best tools, customized.
And I, you know what it did? You know what that did? It saved my customers a lot of money in labor, is what it did. It didn't make me any money. It made me not get mad at the cars. Oh God. So, yeah, that's 15 through 19 millimeter, which is what this pile is right here. Oh, this is disgusting. This is a greasy wrench. Came out of the toolbox. Dean Stevens, I got up this morning, got myself a beer, B-I-E-R. Oh, here we go. Dean Stevenson, Napa ignition module wrench for 7/32 hex or T20 star bits is part number. You know what the part number is? That sounds like Tavo. He always knows what all the part numbers are. This is a parts man. You know, the guy, it was a few days ago, I put up a thumbnail that had a Kaiser Darren, a white Kaiser Darren sitting on a hill. And the guy that owns that is a friend of mine named Vern. And he lived in my old hometown. Well, Vern's father was the Kaiser Fraser dealer, and then later he was a parts man at the Chrysler dealer. And that guy was he's the best parts man in town. That guy, you'd walk in with a part and he'd see it. He just knew the part number and he'd go get it. It was like a walking catalog. But, you know, he passed away years ago. But he was just one of those guys. Oh, says, I might use your idea, Buff, but I like to salt full sets of things or house and grounds and have some that are good enough, but not good enough. Kim, tell me what she means when she said salt. Do salt. Sort, maybe sort. So I'm not sure what that is. It could be. We're good enough and not good enough to lend people. Man, I have lent people tools, and sometimes they don't come back. Sometimes they come back in good shape, clean. But sometimes they don't come back.
Don't tell the Jack story again.
Oh, the Jack story. That was one that...
Well, you had to go chase it.
Well, it didn't come back, and the guy says he'd taken it to like 3 hours away in some other city. And he goes, I said, hey, I need my Jack back. And he goes, oh, you're going to have to go get it. I lent it, and he told me another guy's name. And I said, no, you're going to go get it and bring it to me. And he did, and it came back with wheels busted off of it, and the thing was all twisted and bent. It's like the guy jacked up a semi-trailer in the dirt or something and basically ruined it.
You didn't ruin it. We still use it.
Oh, yeah, after I spent hours and hours and hours fixing it. It still isn't as good as it was.
Made a mess of it. I'll tell you that.
Made a mess of it. It was one that was no longer available, or I would have just bought a new one. It's a big, long floor jack that reaches like way under something, and it's a heavy-duty floor jack, and it would go up. I could lift up my Corvette high enough that I could put jack stands under it and let it down on the jack stands, and it was 31 inches off the ground. And I could sit under that Corvette and work on it. So that was a really important tool for me. And it wouldn't jack up that high anymore. Okay, we've got commercials. I'll be quiet for a minute. Kim, do we have a rag around here? Like a fairly clean...
What?
I had a fairly clean red rag that I was using, yeah, but not one that's all got clumps of shit in it.
All right, I'll look. I'll stop what I'm doing and look for a red rag. I think there's a bunch of them over here.
Because what I'm using is paper towels, and they don't hold up well at all. What is this stuff in the... What is this stuff?
Dirt. I'll get it out of your way in a minute.
No, there's stuff crawling around in there. There's stuff alive in it.
It's alive.
It's alive.
Is this too dirty to work
Well,
with?
it just needs to be washed.
They all need to wash. Yeah.
No, it just needs all the crud off of it.
I got a pile of dirty red rags here.
Okay, as long as they're not like real dirty, I'll take them to the house and I'll wash them.
We'll see how it goes. If not, maybe we'll start replacing our red rags.
Buddy Carapano went to buy air freshener, and the guy asked me year, make, and model. Man, I was in a store, and you know what store it was? The one up there when you go into town, you turn right, and it's right there, Kim. You know what? And I went in there, and they have pretty good body shop supplies. and I asked for I needed a can of etch primer, or maybe some kind of primer. I just looked for gray primer in a can, spray can. The guy goes, "You're making model." I'm like, "What? Are you kidding me?" I guess that's what he was trained to do.
That is exactly
his training kicked in.
Don't get mad, that's his job.
What that dude did was jacked up. Oh, that was maybe Bostonian rather than a typo this time. This house sprawls, so I leave cheap sets where I don't have to go far for them. Yeah, I just don't lend out tools too much anymore. And the reason is we're out in the middle of nowhere, out in the country, and Kim's here and I'm here.
Well, that's not true because we have a request in right now for a tool.
We do?
Yeah, we're going to loan out a
tool. Oh, that tool. Well, sort of, yeah.
You can talk about it if you want.
I don't want to talk about it right. But that's a trade deal. That's not a.
Well, that's a loan.
Sort of a loaner, yeah.
We'll see how it is.
Yeah, but it's a trade thing. It's not like just it's somebody that's a responsible person that also has a lot of tools that completely understand that kind of thing. Vintage. When I was a parts guy, I was a legitimate parts guy. There just wasn't any money in it. I wanted to build race cars. Yeah, that's everybody I knew that was in the parts business. Not in the parts business, but were employees in parts stores. They didn't make a lot of money.
No, it's not. It's a beginner kind of job.
It was sad.
Oh. That's entry level. Call it when they don't pay you fair.
Well, when I sold my first radiator shop, I went to work in a parts store and I wanted to learn about the parts business a little bit more than what I had done because I just had some radiators in stock, but not really a parts store. But what I learned was how to not run a parts business because it was back in the beginning, very beginning of the computer, when people computerized their businesses. And this guy did everything manually. His job, the owner would walk around every aisle in there and write down, count everything in every bin and manually, and then he'd go do all his orders. And all the other stores by then were pulling stuff out of inventory on a computer, and it would just make the order for him. And so, yeah, that's what I learned was how we were doing it and how everybody else was doing it. But, oh, man, but that guy had been doing that probably for 50 years, and that was like in 1979 or 1980, something like that. So that's just how he always done it. Actually, last thing I heard, that guy's still alive. And he's like 100 years old now. Yep. Last time I talked to his son, he said his father was 99 years old. I said, man, I got to call him and talk to him. He goes, don't do that. He can't hear. He can't talk on the phone. He hates the phone. I said, okay, I won't do that. He's a nice guy. Just for hiring me. Nice guy. What do you do here? Buddy Carl says, I have your Snap-on. Oh, man, I missed that thing. Well, I haven't missed it. I haven't had it. I don't know. When the hell did I leave there? 1988? Well, it didn't happen probably a year before I left there. 1987. Somebody got it. I don't know. Yeah. Tavo says, I gave the part number for my aftermarket air conditioner belt, 13A1155. That guy asked, what make and model? That info would get you nowhere, but it's aftermarket. 5/8. There we go, 5/8. Oops, wait a minute, that's 5/8. That's a gear wrench. That goes in a gear wrench. Gear wrench drawer is different than the combination wrenches. Oh, it says I don't loan away what I need to function. I have good enough for most things to hand. People are near to hand while working on or in this place. Tim, the parts guys are like live in person call center. They don't have knowledge of what they're doing. They just go through what the script says. Yeah, I know. You know, that's why Kim likes the. I want to give a shout out to that store that you like down there. It's an O'Reilly's.
Yeah.
O'Reilly's on in the old downtown, yeah, Riverside Drive, old downtown Clarksville, and they have a couple of people in there, actually knowledgeable parts people, and you can walk in there and talk to them, and they know what you're talking about, and that's unusual today. What was that ding, Kim?
Oh, probably a telephone.
Probably a telephone. How many of you have these like gear wrenches that have the ratcheting end? I like those things. I can't always use them, but I like them a lot. Dean says, "Oh, the Hollander manual, the Bible of Interchange." Oh, the Interchange. Yeah, okay. I knew that name. I didn't know why. For automobiles and truck parts, 21st edition by Hollander Manual Company. Man, I remember going into wrecking yards a long time ago, and they always had all the interchanges. They knew what they were doing. A lot of that stuff went away because environmentalists came along and hated the junkyards. There was a guy that lived near where I lived out in California. It's probably 20 miles away. He was out in the middle of nowhere on a hillside, and there were trees all around there. And he had it was all old Fords, 1949 maybe through about 59, 60 somewhere in there, all old Fords and Mercuries. Of course, that's what we had was old Fords. We'd go out there, and he's just a guy, and he'd sell you parts. But we went out there one time, and he goes, "This is it." He goes, "The county's making me take all this away. I got to have it gone by." And he had some date. He had to have it out of there. But somebody thought it was unsightly, so, and he had it pretty neat, all in rows and everything. Nope. Ruined it. Yeah. I don't know. I like the OU bullet places, though. The last one's gone from here. There aren't anymore.
You got to go down.
You got to go to Nashville or something.
Yeah, they're in the industrial areas, and they're not like they were before. They're recycling yards, so they're much more.
Oh, Tavo says I have two sets of them. See, I have short ones, and I have long ones that are like. Oops.
They don't have old cars. They got newer cars.
I have short ones, and I have long ones of the ratcheting type, and I have black ones, and I have chrome ones. Okay, now why are these black? I'm trying to remember. The black ones are long. For some reason they're long, but they're metric. They're the metric ones. So it's kind of nice because I can just grab the color I want. Says it wasn't environmentalist, it was the real estate interest. Well, it could have been. I don't know. It was somebody that their goal was to make it go away because it looked unsightly.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's not so much the real estate. There's plenty of real estate around here.
So there's people that like that kind of stuff and people that just think it's an eyesore. And I like it. I don't know why their stuff isn't an eyesore. I think their 2025 Buick is an eyesore.
What do you got against Buicks?
Well, if your 66 Dart is an eyesore, and I don't think it is, they're brand new. Oh, I just dumped that out. I didn't want to dump that out.
The most inefficient way to handle it is crush all the value out of the car that's disabled. That's not an efficient way of resources. Broken.
I dumped out the wrong one. I dumped out one I'd already cleaned. I wanted to dump out the ignition wrenches because this is pretty dirty in here too. Here go the sirens out on the main road out there.
That's weird. We don't get a lot of sirens.
Oh, it's funny. They wait till we're live.
Okay, I got Roma tomatoes on this end and cherry tomatoes on.
Oh, you're planting over there.
I got some tomatoes. I got to put some water.
She's over there planting in little planter things. Can you guys hear that?
It's unusual.
Okay, let's see if they can hear it. They went away. The main road's out like a bit. It's not our road. And when they go by, you can hear them. And sometimes the dogs start barking because they want to sing along with them or something.
They're outside. They bark. Sure.
Sing along with the
siren. Oh, did I tell you on Sunday? I'm picking up John Hart. I'm going down to his place around 9.
What is this? I'm sorry.
On Sunday.
Yeah.
I'm picking up John Hart around 9 a.m. We're going to the Clarksville Swap Meet car show thing. Remember it was rescheduled?
Oh, it's rescheduled for Sunday?
Sunday.
This coming Sunday?
This Sunday. This week.
Oh, well, so what are you picking him up in?
It's a 66, as long as everything will go.
Oh, so you're taking that?
Yeah.
I could take mine except for the window.
I think you could take it if you want.
Oh, yeah, but it's got a plastic window in it.
I mean, maybe somebody will feel bad for you and find you.
Give me a window.
Maybe somebody has one in their backyard. If you don't take the car, you'll never know.
Yeah, maybe I should take my...
Maybe somebody has one. You never know. Around these parts, somebody's probably got 3 of them somewhere.
Hippie Lunks, this metal is recycled. I understand the loop. Yeah, but if a guy has his own property with all these 50s Fords out there, his goal isn't to recycle the metal.
You know, once all the value's out of it, yeah, crush it down and burn it up and make it into tin cans. But if it's still you can't say.
I remember going out to that place, and we had these tri-power setups for Y-block Fords, tri-power manifolds. We'd go out there and find Stromberg 97s. And on old cars, like old Mercuries or something, Stromberg 97 2-barrel carburetors. I'd pull off 3 of them. They need to be rebuilt, but you can get kits for them. And he'd look in the box and go, $2 each, $6. Yeah, okay. He was happy. $6 then was about probably like 60, yeah, maybe 50, $60 now. And everybody's happy. And it was a really good place, but all disappeared in about 2 or 3 days, sadly. Yeah, and as far as the cars at the wrecking yard here, or wrecking yards where you go now, they're all, they're crashed cars from the last 10 or 15 years.
Yeah, 20 years or less.
Yeah, let them take it. If they want to rip the engine trams out and some of the pieces and parts and then scrap the thing.
Handles, knobs.
That's okay. Those cars will never be restorable anyway.
Axles, wires, splashers, modules.
The modules. Oh my God.
All that junk.
Oh, all these little tiny wrenches, Kim. Oh, what do we got here? I'm sorry, I'm not taking care of the chat. But Garfine agreed 2025 Buick is an eyesore. Buick should be a large luxury car, not an SUV. My former wife got in an accident, and insurance company rented her a car, and she gets little tiny cars, And so they rented her a car, and they rented a big Buick SUV. I was out in Arizona, and she goes, I had to drive this thing home. They rented me a tractor. I go, what? She goes, it's huge, like a tractor. I go, what is it? She sent me a picture of it. It was a giant Buick SUV. I said, well, just take it back, call them and see if you get something smaller, And she did, and they did. She didn't want to drive that thing because it was too big. She was used to driving a Nissan. What's the little Nissan called? Little tiny Nissan.
Maxima.
No, that's a big Nissan. What's a little Nissan?
It's still little.
Little tiny Nissan. Yeah, it was bad. So when she got in that Buick, that was like something she'd never even been in before. Dean Stevens, no, HOA. In New Zealand, HOA primary means friend. In Rio, I don't know where that is. While HOA is common abbreviation in the U.S. for homeowners association, the concept is less prevalent in New Zealand. Yeah, but to me, a homeowners association, that's like volunteering for more government. Oh yeah, put another layer of government for me. There's somebody else to write me tickets. Yeah, I don't want that. The Sentra, nope, smaller than the Sentra. Actually, she got a Sentra after that, which is a big car for her. What's the little one? Maybe it starts with a V or something.
Versa?
Yes, Versa. There was more to the name. Nissan Versa something. Little tiny thing. So that car, she's going along a 2-lane road where the speed limit is like 50 or something. Nope, not a Sunny. Versa. Yeah, Mexican spec. What's the rest of it? Versa. I don't know. There's a couple of Versas. One's like a little sedan. The other's like a little tiny thing. So anyway, she's in the Nissan Versa, the one that has a little hatch window in the back. So somebody in front of her was making a left turn. Stop. So she stopped. The one behind her didn't stop. Was in a 1-ton Chevy dually with a horse trailer behind it, and she never even put the brakes on. Just ran into my wife. The car in front of her, I said, "What happened? Why didn't you hit her?" Because she just turned, and she goes, "I missed her when this person hit." But when she hit her, it just blew all the back windows out and destroyed that little Nissan Versa, whatever it's called. This one-eyed cat. Hello, everyone. Just got done with the dishes. That's what I'm doing. Dishes. Except my dishes are tools. I'm wiping off tools and putting them away.
Forks and spoons.
Forks and spoons. Only this is like combination wrenches and gear wrenches, screwdrivers, all that kind of thing.
Sockets.
So,
pliers.
Yeah, there were some other funny things about that crash because she'd just been shopping, and it was a Friday afternoon. I was in Arizona. They took the car away on a tow truck and left her there. Oh, she ended up riding to the hospital in an ambulance, but they took her car away on a tow truck on Friday afternoon with all her groceries in it. So she wanted to go get the groceries. She got out of the hospital that evening. I called my son. He went and got her. I was in Arizona. It was a big mess, but she ended up getting out of the hospital, and she wanted to go get her car. Well, they said, "You can come in Monday morning and get it." Well, our groceries are in there, Well, you can imagine. You don't want to go back 3 days later and get your groceries out of the car. And then she just bought a battery for the car, but she put it on a credit card. So she got the bill for the credit card. She goes, "I'm going over to get my battery." I go, "No, your insurance company already paid that off. That battery belongs to the insurance company." She goes, "No, I'm just paying for it now. That's my battery." I go, "No, it's not. It belongs to the insurance company." So yeah, she lost her battery too. Just like my Mazda, I lost my battery. Oh God, what is this? Vintage says, "Listening to dueling banjos right now."
Dueling bands.
Ray Laguna Seca.
Hey, I found a 17 millimeter, I think.
You found
I
a 17.
did. Look what I found.
Oh, the socket we've been looking for forever. Where was it? Is it rolled under something?
It was underneath. It must have gotten kicked underneath.
Okay, where's the rest of the set?
It's over there. The whole set needs clean.
Can you hand me the set? I'll clean it all up. Put it all.
Okay,
fix
it's
it
a
nice.
mess, though.
I don't care. I'll make it nice.
I'm just saying.
That's what I'm doing. I'm making tools nice. I got this drawer straightened out. See, everybody. We don't have the other camera set up, do we?
No, I'm not gonna do it. I don't.
Okay, then I gotta get my hands at least clean enough I can grab my camera and show them kind of what I do here. This is not as nice as what you as what you might want, but it is. You see what I do there? I'm trying to aim this so it fits. See, they're organized in at least the sizes I want, and then any weird wrenches or special wrenches that I made are in the back behind it. So that's my wrench drawer. It is now I can't get the cord back where I want it. I'm starting to knock things over. I knocked over your drink. So anyway. Okay. That's the real estate money's fault for lying to them about where a racetrack is. It's just all lugs are 17. No, they're not. What, a little tiny car? I don't know. All ours are 19, 19 and 3/4, and then all Fords are like one size bigger than that. I don't know. Are there 17 millimeter lug nuts? I don't know.
What's the question?
Cutter Down says all the lugs are 17 millimeter, but I think they're all 19 except Fords, which are one step bigger.
Yeah, no,
because 19 and 3/4 are like within thousandths of the same, so pretty much interchangeable. And then Fords are all the old. Of course, I'm not working on new cars. New cars might be 17. I don't know. The old cars, the Fords were 3/4. They were 13/16. All the other cars were 3/4. This is One-Eyed Cat. It's not a 10 millimeter. Yeah, I found all my 10 millimeter stuff of these tools. Okay, so now I've got that door straightened out. Tim says, not really. I'm in Colorado, whatever that's about.
Yeah, I got enough dirt on this that you should be able to clean it.
I have to go get some cardio and lung tests in the morning.
Oh, okay, guys.
Didn't you just get some? Tim, I was just thinking you got some other kind of test, didn't you? Or is that Mexican Spec got some serious tests too, right?
Oh.
Yeah, I guess I'll get these tests. Oh, yeah, this is a mess, Tim. What'd you spray in here?
Water.
Water?
Soap and then water. And now it's, I mean, it's better than it was. It was so dirty. I didn't want to get it.
Oh, yeah, this is filthy.
Yeah, I was embarrassed to even hand it.
This thing, these sockets, this belongs in the dishwasher. Kim, we need a dishwasher up here.
It's really messy. There's a lot of stuff that needs done.
Oh, this is filthy.
Yep.
Okay. Now we're going to get the...
But...
spray the oil in here that'll melt some of this greasiness.
We're slowly getting better tonight.
Did we just get ads? Oh, yeah, we did. Ads just popped in.
It's only getting better.
I feel like I'm really ignoring the chat tonight because I'm paying.
I know, it's really hard to do work.
I'm half paying attention to what I'm doing.
But it's a cleanup crew night, guys.
That's what I said.
Sorry that we're not paying as close attention. But on cleanup crew nights, we do gotta get a little bit done. You can't just be sitting around flapping our gums and streaming all the time. We gotta do work. But if you guys are, you know, we appreciate the people who hang out with us and comment and make the time pass while we're working, because otherwise it's boring. We just want to sit around and watch YouTube, but instead we'll get some things done. Hey, I know, like Miss One-Eyed Cat, she'll turn on the stream.
Can she go do something?
And she'll do the laundry while she's listening, or she'll do the dishes or fold, laundry. But so she does a lot of things, but she's still sort of participating. She's hanging out.
Yep.
Right? It's parallel play, they call it in psychology.
You know who else does that? You know who watches our streams, but he's rarely ever commenting? Shane Polito.
Yeah, Professor P. He said it before that he
just
turns
puts it on a
stream
big screen in the garage and works on his car.
When he's working late on his car, he'll put the stream on. That's why I don't like to miss too many nights in a row, because there are people, even if they're not going to be participating a lot, they're hanging out.
So he's working on his car, and we're working on ours. We're sort of working together, but we're not talking to each other. Well, I'm talking. Oh, you know, this is a mess.
You know how you have friends. You want to know what's going on with them, but you don't need to say it. You know, I don't know. We appreciate
Kim, this isn't going to be perfect, but it'll be way better than it was.
Vintage Adventure Drives. Well, if you get it too clean, I'm just going to get dirty again. Well, it says you just got an ad for Nissan. You get 2 points.
Nissan.
Buddy Carvana says, I got caught washing parts in dishwasher. Mom made me buy her a new one. Oh, wow.
Ooh,
That's an expensive mistake.
When I was 17, I took apart a 292 Ford, a Y block, and, you know, push rods seemed to go right into like the silverware trays and stuff, and the rods were in there, and they had full floating wrist pins, so you could take the pistons off pretty easy. So the rods went in there, and a lot of the internal parts, and I just turned the dishwasher on. They weren't home. My parents weren't home. So then I took everything out. Things rusted a little. I didn't like that. Then the dishwasher smelled really bad inside. So then I ran a load with nothing in the dishwasher but dishwasher detergent. Still smelled bad in there. So I ran another load with excessive amount of dishwasher detergent.
See, I caught her in the act. Miss Anna Cat says, my dryer just got done. So you know what I'm doing next. Yeah. I knew. We knew.
So I think I got away with that, but maybe I didn't. I don't remember. It's one of the things I'm sure I got in trouble for.
You should have gotten in trouble. Gearhead asks, how many coats of Bondo do you think they laid down? Wow. The whole gallon.
Gallon. That was more than a gallon.
I mean, it might have been one coat. It's hard to say. It might have been 3 coats or 1 coat, but no matter what it was the whole gallon.
Does Bondo come in 55-gallon drums?
No. Maybe. I mean, it's got to start somewhere.
Mix up the whole 55-gallon drum, slather it on in a hurry. Kim, I know you took the sockets out of here.
They're all sitting right there on the
table. We moved them up there.
I put them up there. We can move them. I can give you the other. You want the little gray stand, the little brown stand here?
I don't know. I can read.
Well, this will make it easy.
Trying to read the red writing on it.
I'm sorry for the
noise. Red writing on the red container, but I'm reading it. It's just hard.
Yes it is.
It's difficult. Could be long. I baked my ceramic paint to my exhaust in my oven. Won't do that again. Took like a week to fade. Ooh. Tom Anderson, Ace Hardware ad for me. Did you read that already?
No. You get 2 points. Doesn't JB from JB's Little Shop work at Ace Hardware?
I don't know. Where's JB's Little Shop work? How's he doing?
He seems like he's doing really well. He got the
I haven't seen him on YouTube in like a week, because I probably haven't been paying attention.
He's been doing lots of videos.
Okay, I've just missed him.
He's been doing lots of little update videos. He got the engine block back from the machine shop for his little 2-point. Not for the race truck, for the other truck. He's got the black one. He got the engine block back for that. He got the heads back, but one of the heads was wrong, so he sent that back. It's just he's real smart about how he's doing it. Being patient, getting the parts right, and
can't read this.
Yep, that's how it goes.
16. That's where the 16 goes. Gearhead, don't forget the chicken wire and newspaper. No. They use mouse nest and just muttered over it. They use screen, like from a screen door.
Yeah.
Where are those pieces?
I threw them in the trash.
No.
I'm not digging them. Oh.
I want those. Those are like the best souvenirs we got. We're gonna hang those on the wall. We're gonna give those as prizes to somebody when they win something. You get genuine Bondo off our car.
I put them in the other trash bag and closed it.
Oh no!
They're gone.
You threw them away.
We
had Bondo that's like this thick on top of screen door material, and that's what the whole bottom of that car was just made out of that stuff. So, Cutter Down Garage says he did a video stocking the shelf. Oh, okay. Yeah. Man, am I having a hard time reading this. Why do they put red writing on a red box? Old people have a hard enough time reading.
I have to do this with the saw.
22. Is that 22? Nope, that's 21. That's 22. I'm getting this thing filled up with all the right sockets. It'll be really good because this set has been missing the 17 for a long time. And Kim found it.
I found it finally. I'm so sorry that it has been missing.
Well, it's good. We found it. And this is a set of impact sockets. So when you're going to really wail on something,
you need them.
This is the tool to use. I've never broken one of these. And we really wailed on them. Hippie One says, I can honestly say, since 1978, no vehicle I have owned has had any Bondo. Well, I don't mind Bondo if it's like a little
done properly,
little tink or something you just wipe over it.
Hey, I mean, some cars, that's...
Oh,
the thing about that Bondo, it saved that car long enough for us to get it.
Yep.
It was what it needed at that moment. It was the perfect way to fix it that day. And there's all kind of Bondo on my van, and it's made it so I could keep it going for another 2.5 years. I didn't pretend it was structural, though. All the structural stuff I did do properly with metal. But the Bondo makes it look nice.
Yeah, and I don't have a problem with that. You know, you can have, like my Zephyr has a couple of tinks, like somebody came along with a center punch and whacked. I don't know what it is. Something hit, but it's just a little dimple. Well, to get in behind there and try to make that straight and everything, heck with it. When we paint that thing, I'll just put a little white there and it'll be fine.
Yeah,
but I'm not making a fender out of Bondo in a screen door, Not.
It was the whole rocker.
My Ford van, when I got my van, the hood, it's a little stubby hood. It's probably this long. Opens up, you can see the radiator and a few things. That thing is some kind of composite bullshit material. When I got it, it had a big hole poked in it where somebody drove into something and poked a hole in it. And I fixed that with well, I pushed the material back up. It was some kind of plastic with hairy stuff in it. And I just pushed it back up and held it, and maybe put some tape or something behind it to hold it temporarily. I mixed up some epoxy resin and put what do you call it stuff? That's basically fiberglass shreds,
Hey, I might make a little noise.
Can't think of the name of it anyway. I filled it in with that, let it cure, and then sanded it off, and it's been fine since then. 14. Kim's going to make noise. Hey, this is coming out right. I got 2 sockets left, and I got 2 empty holes. Oh, she took it outside. Use a dent remover, Buff. What's a dent remover? A can of Bondo. I don't know. It depends on where it is. If I can get at the back of it, okay, but I'm not, I don't really care. I don't mind a little. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Okay. I got to wipe all the bullshit off my hands. And then, I don't know where the soap went. Kim, where'd the soap go? Oh, there's some. Simple green. Simple green that's not so simple anymore. It's mixed with water. It's just It's enough that it gets the grease off my hands. So I can touch the camera without greasing the camera. Because the camera is also a good grease remover from your hand, but improper.
That ain't gonna work.
What are you doing out there?
Trying to cut this on.
What is this? Dean says instant car dent removal. Timo $13.99 in New Zealand. New Zealand? Oh, Gorilla Snot. Okay, I'm gonna take the camera and just, I'm proud of myself. See that? Those sockets are all, the sockets are all clean. They're in that case. So all the impact sockets. Oh, see this? They're not all the impact sockets. Metric impact sockets. All the metric impact sockets are together. Kim, they're all together again. You got to see this. We haven't seen this for half a year.
I want to see it. It'd be like new.
Well, I cleaned them all up. They're shiny. Look at this.
I want to see it.
And
oh God, they look like brand new.
They're all up so you can read what they are. And
newly imported.
Isn't that nice? Okay, where do they go? They go in this bottom drawer, right?
Made in America.
Bottom drawer.
Thank you so much. That is gorgeous.
Gorgeous, she says.
Beautiful.
My sockets are gorgeous.
Now I'm not allowed to touch them. Now I'm not allowed to use any of the tools because it's clean.
Okay, I want to show this too, but I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can get the camera over there without causing trouble.
Let me see if I can give you.
I don't have a lot of stuff.
That's all the cord you got. You can bring it a little closer.
Okay.
That's about as much as you got.
And I can't, because it's not a mirror. It doesn't behave the way I expect it to behave. Okay, this drawer. I'll point down here. We have.
Let me camera.
I'm trying to move where I can move. Okay. Puller down here. Got some torque wrenches in here. Got a big stapler. We got a ring compressor. We got a vacuum thing. We got some power wrenches. What's that thing back there? Oh, this is another. That's a smaller torque wrench. What is this thing? Oh, this is another torque wrench. We've got the flaring tool. We've got that sockets I just put together. Got a, well, this would normally be a chisel, an air chisel, but I've got a 1/4-inch drive thing on here. So if you got a bolt that's giving you trouble because it's rusty, you put a socket on this and just vibrate the hell out of it, and then it goes on there.
Buddy Carapano has awarded you 2 cough drops. He says you did a good job.
I need cough drops. I'm in terrible shape. There's a bunch of parts for a yellow rivet gun there. Anyway, that's kind of what's in that drawer. Bunch of heavy stuff.
Okay.
I need cough drops. Something fierce right now.
Do you not have any here?
They're just in my pocket. I got it.
Can I set this back down?
Yes,
or?
set it back down.
Okay.
So
I got to get you.
It's kind of a. They wanted a toolbox tour, and it's kind of a slow tour. So it's more of a toolbox cleanup. I don't know. You want to show them anything? We could show them this. Can you aim around?
Yeah, I can.
What is this doing? This doesn't belong in here.
Well, I don't know. They got to see what's going on.
Okay. This drawer, I'm sure there's something missing out of here. Oh, man, this is a pair of dividers. That's a pair of dividers that my father gave me. Wow. And here's a cheap little compass that's sort of the same. Here's another cheap little compass. I use them both. This is a dial bore gauge, which I had out because we were checking the bore on some engine.
We're done with the setup. You could probably put that away.
Yeah, well, I could probably put it away. So, you can see that. That makes that work. Here's a measuring tool that doesn't belong in here, but I have a lot of those. It might be good to have that here. What is this? I don't remember what this is. As soon as I see it, I'll know what it is. Or as soon as I need it, I'll know what it is. Oh, yeah, that's a set of micrometers that are from little to big. And we use those when we were measuring pistons and trying to figure out piston cylinder wall clearance. It's kind of what this drawer is. And then right over here,
it is a $5 BAM on an air hammer, something like that.
Looks like a mouse got in here.
They look it.
This is a micrometer that's 2.5 inches to 3.5. The reason I bought such a weird size way back in the early days is because
careful, there's a name.
I know that's not me. So anyway, that was for Mazda. The
rotary.
Yeah, the rotor housings are the 70 inches just under 3 inches, and the 80-inch ones were just over 3 inches. So I had that for both. I only needed one micrometer then. This needs to be cleaned up. This is the pliers drawer and things that look like pliers, but not everything's here. And every time I close the drawer, it slides everything to the back. Anyway, there's a lot of pliers looking stuff in here. One of my favorite ones are, look at this, it's for spreading the parts.
Snap rings?
Snap rings. What's this, Kim? This is something here, some kind of special.
No, that's a valve spring compressor.
This is just everything's worked its way to the back. Oh, and you know what these are? These are like old-fashioned crimpers for big crimps, crimp together connectors. But anyway, that's pliers, and looks like pliers.
Sacred instruments. Camera off. Camera off.
But this is this also needs to be
quiet.
Cleaned out.
He said wankle, says Dean Stevens.
Yeah, this needs to be cleaned out too. But there's a lot of pliers around here that aren't put in here yet, because usually that's more full. This is the awesome screwdriver drawer. It has big long screwdrivers and big long. That one's sharpened because this is like a way down in there alignment tool to like shove through a hole and get a bolt hole lined up. All kinds of things that look like screwdrivers but aren't, like this hook. And that's actually a big Phillips screwdriver. And then there's pry bars in here, like this. That's a hefty pry bar. And whatever that other thing was I just put in here, a stubby screwdriver. It's kind of a mess, but I kind of know where things are. Oh, this screwdriver, I think I've showed this before, where you take it like this, as a Phillips on the end, and you can just, well, it doesn't do it against there, but to turn it, you just go like this. So that's kind of interesting, instead of using a power tool. This is the wrench door that I straightened out. This is this socket disaster that I've got to, I got to take everything out of here and get this drawer working right, clean that up.
And here's all the dirty eating.
What's over here? I forget what's even over here.
I don't know.
This is
You're getting further and further away. Bring me the tool chest.
Bring you the tool chest.
Wheel the.
Just pick it up and carry it.
Pivot the whole thing this way. You're getting too far away.
Well, my wheels won't roll. There's like a little wheel chock under my.
Okay, that's better. I can see again.
Okay, this has got a socket set that like you could carry out somewhere.
No, those are special. That's specialty.
Oh yeah, this is all. This is
inside and outside
torques and screwdrivers and all kinds of stuff. That's what that is. Okay, I'm gonna just get that out of the way. This is a fish, not like a salmon, but like a thing you fish.
It's a fillet of fish. It's a fish taper.
Yeah, it's a fish tape. You can stick this down in something you can pull wires through with it. This is kind of a mess. We got to clean this up. This is a bunch of oops. These things are meant to stick onto somewhere, and you can tie wire ties to them.
Is that interesting?
I used to use these in the airplane a lot, but in cars I haven't used them much. What the hell is this, Kim? Oh, this is a flaring tool of some sort. Is this yours?
No, I found that in the red toolbox one year.
Oh, that. I've never seen that tool here. Oh, I can't show that. That's a gauge for installing a GPS antenna on something that I can't.
Stray Bullet says he's gotten good at remembering where he used the tool that he's looking for. That's right. I don't always put it away, but I guess I have a good guess of where it might still be.
What is this?
Most days.
This? Oh,
magnets.
These are little magnets that you're supposed to stick on your toolbox, so you remember where everything is. 1/2-inch metric sockets, all these kind of tools. I used to put these all up there, and then they kept falling off and moving around. They'd be crooked, and I kind of know where everything is anyway, so I didn't really want to put deals up there.
Everybody left. No one cares about your tour.
Oh, torques.
Nah, they just tuned out. They're still watching.
I'm sorry. Yeah, everybody's leaving because it's a stupid tour. What is this? Oh.
Crazy old man digging through his toolbox.
That's a manifold pressure gauge for a twin-engine airplane. See, it has 2 needles. One for one engine, one for the other engine.
Oh, I didn't know that's what that was. If we ever have a twin engine anything, we have to put that in there just so that we could say we did. Either that, maybe I'm giving everybody.
I just dumped this. I gotta clean this.
Don't dump those out. What are you
just made a
doing?
mistake. I gotta clean 'em up.
You're supposed to be putting stuff away.
You know what these are? These are for getting lines off air conditioning and fuel lines. And
That's
all that
for
kind of
cracking
stuff.
open pinatas that are too small.
What are these for? I think you bought these.
I don't think I did. That's a copper turnout for plumbing.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
For PEX plumbing.
Well, I know what this is. This thing you're supposed to have on the grinder so you don't hurt yourself.
Oh, it is a safety thing.
It stays in the toolbox. Yeah, okay. I've had enough of this. This is a mess. This is a bunch of nut drivers and electrical stuff. This is a bunch of punches and all kind of hardware and shit that I go in here and look for little screws and things. It's a mess. Gotta clean that up, I guess.
Very useful.
And same as this. This is a mess too.
That's all the brass air fittings.
There's all the air fittings.
Look at the little mini valve.
All these little things here, yeah.
All the things you need.
All these little.
That's where we hide
those
wire strippers and razor knives.
Solder.
And electrical solder.
A whole thing of solder.
Put it in there so you can't find it.
Okay, so now they got their tour.
You got the tour.
And everybody left.
They were like, ugh. I told them we weren't going to tour it, and then we did it.
And then we did, and they left. Yeah,
told you nobody cares. Nobody loves us.
Audience half what it was because I.
No. People are just not clicking, and when you don't click, they automatically don't count you. It's weird like that.
All right, back to this.
YouTube trying to discourage us.
My detachable DB Cooper tie gets me in trouble. You know who DB Cooper is? You know who DB Cooper is?
No.
He's the guy that jumped out of the back of a 727 and parachuted with $250,000 or whatever it was. And
I remember, yeah. Did he survive? Did he not survive? It was a big deal. Yeah.
Well, he'd be
Did he get away with the money?
He'd be ancient by now.
Yeah, pretty old. Yeah, I think I'm going back to what I was doing.
Dean Stevenson, where's the super glue for the triage? Oh, it says they kind of pulled a legend move and found me a green Jag XK120 for those dolls. Didn't help. That Barbie still looked like step fraud stuff to me. But he got the car part right. Okay. Mrs. One-Eyed Cat says she's still there.
Well, that's the only thing that's important. Go on. We got the people that we want.
Do I like air battery tools better? Buddy Carfano asked. Man, you know, a few years ago, I wouldn't have taken a battery tool in place of a air tool because air tools are far superior. But you know what's happened? You know, the voltages went up and the tools got better and the batteries got better. And you almost always now I take a battery tool over the air tool. There's only a few things that air tools are better at. I wish they had a really good battery tool that's a dual action sander. You know, it sands this way and the whole thing moves around so it doesn't make gouges. But I haven't found one, so I have air. But then the compressor runs and runs and runs and runs because the compressor's small. And then the big, you know what an air board is? It's an air file. It's a thing about this big. You put sandpaper on it. It goes. It's like doing a fender that's, or like the side of a van that's really flat. You can take that thing and move it up and down like this, and really sand something flat. And I've never seen an air board that's battery powered. I wish they had some. Maybe somebody knows where there is one. Dean Stevenson says, Timo ad. I've changed the ad algorithm because you're talking about Timo stuff on here. Dean Stevenson, the XK120 in color, right on. Here's a question I have, everybody. Like there be an answer to this. What's your favorite Jaguar? Jaguar. What's your favorite Jaguar? I know what mine is. There's probably a first and a second. But I'm just curious. Tyler says air tools are only good when you have a compressor that can keep up. Yep. That aircraft factory where I work, they had a big screw compressor. Everybody in the building could be running air tools, and it had shut off. And then the air started to go down, and it'd build up with everybody running air tools. It was amazing.
I bet you that cost some money to run.
Yeah. Dean Stevenson, just use a Falcon Taxi 63 WC liter LPG tank. Buddy Carapon says E-Type. That would be my second favorite, would be the E-Type Jag. Carlo says Mark 10 420G. Lester says XJ6. Now I have another question because I can't pull it out of my dead brain. What's the car that looks like the XJ6, but the back doors are much longer? It's got another name on it, but it's a Jaguar. It's a long Jaguar XJ6. I can't think what it is. What's the name of that thing? Van and Plus, which is a Jaguar, but Van and Plus Jaguar. I really like that thing. Olive says, Dean Stevenson, I think my parents were all like, why won't you play dolls with your sisters a lot? Let's see here. Dean Stevens says manual 1978 XJS, not the BW12 or THM 400 or HE. Taos says down here that would be the XJ6L. Oh, really? See, that would be really easy to remember. The Van and Plus. And I always thought it was Pla, like it was French, but it isn't. They pronounce the S. It's Van and Plus. Dean Stevenson stock 5.3 4-speed, did 155 miles an hour, 15.1 second quarter miles, 15 imperial miles a gallon. What the heck is an imperial gallon? It's slightly bigger. It's slightly bigger than a gallon we use in the U.S. I think. I'm not sure.
Imperial miles.
Because they used to use imperial gallons, and then everything kind of went liters or our gallons. I kind of forgot about imperial gallons. XJS was the coupe with the old straight 6 plus etc. Mexican Spec. I was just watching a video of the first time Gary Coleman was on the Tonight Show, November of '78. Man, that was right after my car was built. That's 47 years ago. Tavo says 4.54 liters. Okay, versus 3.8 liters. So it's considerably larger. Dean Stevenson says the U.S. ones lost so much power. 286 horsepower and 97 octane form. 241 in U.S. trim with 89 octane. Yeah, I don't know. If I had a good Venom Plus, it wouldn't be because of some horsepower difference. It's just a nice car. And I don't know why I like that big back seat. It's like I'm never going to ride back there. And really, buying a Jaguar is just maybe you just like to work on cars. I don't know.
We do just like to work on cars.
More sirens out there.
Yeah, I'm going to make noise too. I can't take this outside.
Oh, you're going to make noise in here.
I know, in the shop.
Mexican Spec, I realized Dana Plato was at the studio filming the show and not allowed in school I was in. I think she was 2 years ahead of me. Tim's doing something over there. He's cutting something. I'll get to the chat when she's done. Are you done?
No.
No. I said I'd get to the chat when you were done. But you're not done. See, she's over there cutting something. Dean Stevenson says 3.785 divided by 4.545, 20% difference. Yeah, it is a lot bigger, isn't it? All says, I actually met Gary Coleman once. He was a dick. Stray bullet, don't the British still use the imperial gallon? Man, when I was there, we were buying gasoline in liters, but everything was in miles, so it was really a strange system. And they give me a hard time about SAE stuff, and I just like, we use every system in the U.S. You have to know every system or you're not going to get by. And they still give me a bunch of shit. And I go, I don't know what she said. So anyway, I just tell them, I'd say to them, well, how many kilometers was it to work this morning? And they go, oh no, it's in miles. I go, yeah. So you use miles and use all these metric, and you guys just draw the line in a different place. There's a couple more things you use metric than we do, Mexican spec says, oh, toward the end, I can believe that he was in Vegas at the end. Oh yeah, and that's when you were there, I guess, probably. Oh, it says imperial gallons and pints are different from U.S. ones. Yeah, and Dean Stevenson gave the conversion up there.
Give him points.
Give Dean Stevenson points for that?
Yeah.
How many?
2.
2 points. Dean Stevenson gets 2 points. Got it? No. You got it. What are you cutting apart?
Part of that aluminum manifold off of the Ford Ranger.
Oh, you're working on your Ranger.
Yeah, I needed a break
from cleaning up. Yeah, I stopped cleaning up because I can't pay attention to the chat very well and clean up. Everybody leaves. Let's see here. British have now reluctantly accepted leaders. Well, they'd already done that. I don't know when they did that. I was there in the summer of 09 and gasoline was in liters. Dean Stevenson says imperial gallons. It's a hidden UK centric tariff. Buff and Kim, don't buy it. I can't talk over them. Noise. Okay, let's see here. I'm trying to find my place in the
Aluminum
chat.
Sucks because it binds up the teeth.
Binds up the blade. You need to put some lube on it. Paul says Mexican Spec. I was the 80s. He had a limo and goons. I don't know where his end was, but he still thought he was a big shot. He was a big shot, I guess.
You have to be a big shot.
Dean says, I work.
Have to get the last word. So much fun to be around.
Okay, let's see here. I don't know if she's finished sawing. Let's see. I work both sides. Dean says I work both sides of the equation too, but if I'm tridextral. Tavo, I'm on a British Ford forum. They still talk miles per gallon. Yeah, they were over there. Oh, what was? Okay. Oh, I know what it was. My Corvette, you could change the little trip computer thing from miles to gallon, or like liters per 100 miles or something. It is a strange thing. I mean, it's a complete different way of thinking. Stray bullet will never give up our gallons. Dean Stevenson's giving away 4 points.
What for?
To Olive. I don't know why he gave her 4 points. I really have a hard time talking over the sawing. The sawzall. Can all you hear the sawzall? I think she's going to set it down. Now my phone's going ching-ching. Let's see here. Where are we here? Dean Stevenson says 55 or 44 gallon drum. Tavo, 205 liters, Dean. Buddy Carafano. I don't know what they're doing. Buddy Carafano, 350 cubic inches, 5.7 liter. We use both. So why is a 351 Ford?
I'm so sorry.
He's sawing. You got it through there, Kim?
No.
No, you're still sawing. She's got a whole sawing thing going over there.
Awful.
Well,
I knew it was going to be awful. That's why I've been putting it off. But I want my Bronco put together, and there's no other way.
You're not putting it together. You're sawing it apart.
Oh, sometimes you have to tear things. Sometimes you got to break a few eggs, you know. Yes! Victory!
Okay, so now I'm going to talk. You can take a break in the sawing for a minute. Nope. Okay, now I got to go back to this, and it's about ready to disappear. Buddy Carafano says 350 cubic inch, 5.7 liter. When I just disappeared, I wiped out a whole thing waiting. Let's see here. 350 cubic inches, 5.7 liter. We use both. Well, tell me something. Why is a 351 Ford and a 350 Chevy, the same bore and stroke. And one of them is 350 cubic inch, the other is 351 cubic inch. And then one of them is 5.7 liters, the other is 5.8 liters. I don't know. Let's see here. I'm going to just have to skip over a bunch. My property was surveyed in chains, feet, but it has been converted to meters. Chains.
Yeah, well, okay, so...
Oh, she was a surveyor for a while, so what's chains?
There's perches and there's chains. I think a chain is 33 feet, or maybe 33 and a third feet. And then they'll count links too, and the links are there.
Okay, I didn't know that.
It's
okay,
not inaccurate.
So he says change feet, but it has been converted to meters on the current title.
Yeah, because so the way that titles work is those measurements are to help you find the location of your corner. They don't dictate they're just like they're a map. They're instructions of how to find where the corners are. The corners are supposed to be marked. Traditionally people would have fences or rock piles or something like that. And people were not building
but
down.
They're never in the right place. Yeah, they're always.
They are in the right place.
Well, I have so many pieces of property. I've had the fence was on one side or the other side, or it wasn't in the right place.
So that's the thing, right? Is depending on how long the fence has been there, the fence dictates, not the title.
Really?
But it depends, right? Like you can't just go and steal somebody's property by intentionally putting up a fence in the wrong place. If you do not have a survey that states that fence exists, and then you put a fence in the wrong place, it does not dictate the property, right? But the thing of it is these laws were written in the old times where people had agreements. Like you got your plot, and you met with your neighbor, and you said, okay, this is the corner, and you set some kind of boundary. It might have been a tree, and over time, those things can get lost because people are not so concerned with them. People are not so agrarian and outside. And so, like, if you're in a housing plan and it's all drawn up in a map and a plot, no one can steal your property. It belongs to you. It's all been plotted and measured precisely. And it's documented. So it's what's yours is yours. What's plotted is correct. If somebody goes and puts a fence in the wrong place, that's on them. And legally you have lots of power in that situation. The weird adverse possession laws only really apply to old plots that have written deeds that don't have precise measurements and current documentation. Sorry, I really went off.
Dean Stevenson caught that. Yeah, the Chevy 350 is different bore and stroke. The bore is the same, but the stroke is 20 thousandths difference. Well, it's pretty darn close. What about knots? Well, knots they use in
in
navigation. In navigation, because it's a breakdown of from the from the Earth, from longitude and latitude, and it's 87% of miles. So if you're going 100 miles an hour, you're going 87 knots. So almost everything that I did with aircraft is in knots, which is it's almost as it's another thing. But the whole world is in knots with aircraft, except the old Eastern Bloc countries like Russia. I think is still using kilometers, but everybody uses knots because it makes sense because it's a division of the longitude and latitude somehow. Dean Stevenson, the Gen 1 and Gen 2 350 were 3.48 inch stroke, so 5.735 liters more or less. Like chains, land area is coded as more or less, and in USA, occupation is the rule. Is that right? I don't know. Well, I think this guy over here.
I've read a couple books and I've worked for multiple surveyors, so when you say the rule, is I don't know if you understand the rule when you're saying the rule. Yeah, that is the rule, but do you understand what is your interpretation of that statement? It really requires some expertise.
How long is a knot? A knot is a speed, not a distance, but it's a nautical mile. It's the speed across a nautical mile, and you can look up nautical mile and see what that division is with latitude. Or maybe it's longitude at the equator. I don't know. I don't remember, but I know it's a division of longitude and latitude. And we're about ready to get some ads stuck in here, so let's see.
All of since we have a surveyor's block from probably the 1930s, somewhere up in the woods. It may once have been on a border, but it's changed since then. If you know where to look, especially in city areas, but lots of places, there are what's called survey monuments. And a monument may or may not be at a corner of a property, or it may be off of the property, or it may be on the property. And a monument really has only significance if it's called out in a title. When you put a document, when a surveyor places a monument, it becomes documented. It's only significant if it's documented where it is, and it's only significant when it has to be stated why and where and when, right? Its location is. When they build bridges, they place monuments when they survey the site before they ever start building. They place monuments, but they don't want to place them where the bridge is going to go, where the highway is going to go. So sometimes they'll put them up on a hillside off of the site, right? It'll be marked clearly and it will be protected because it's important. It's going to be used for a decade. They're going to measure everything, and that monument may have a beautiful line of sight all the way across the river to another monument. And so they used angles and distances, and they use math. They can place every piece of the bridge from the plan using those straight line distances and monuments, angles and distances. They can tell the people who are building where everything goes to exacting precision from either side. And then when they're done building the bridge, the monuments are sort of abandoned. If you have the plans for the bridge, you'll understand where the monument is in relation to maybe property lines and highway right-of-ways and stuff like that. But the distance from the monument to the highway right-of-way, it might be 87.325 feet. It doesn't have to be a specific amount. It's wherever they put it, and then they know it's there throughout the life of its usefulness. So surveyors make mistakes all the time. All the time.
Stray Bullet says it's a distance buff. Tell me. Okay, a nautical mile is 115%, about 115% of a mile.
Oh.
So
it's in percentages.
Well, you have to know that because some airspeed indicators are in miles, some are in kilometers, some are in knots, and so getting different airplanes, different charts, all this kind of stuff. You gotta be on the same system for whatever flight you're in. So you gotta know this stuff. And then nautical miles, this longitude and latitude don't change. Yeah, but the distance between the lines of longitudes is different because they meet at the poles. So at the equator, it's much bigger than it is. Obviously, at the poles, it touches. So I think it was the distance. I don't remember. You can look it up and see. I know it has something to do with longitude and latitude. I know how to read the airspeed indicator.
Buddy says he's not going to the deli to get a kilogram of cheese. It just sounds wrong. I'll take a kilogram of cheese, please. Yes, please.
It's a whole lot more than a pound of cheese. You know what?
I thought a pound was 2.5 kilograms.
It's the other way around.
Oh.
It's about 2.2 pounds for a kilogram.
See, that's a lot of cheese. I like cheese. Olive says it may be well documented, just might not be relevant to property lines, right? Since they rearranged the area. But usually they make a callback to the previous outer boundary.
Did you get Mad Hippie in the head?
Sorry. Before they can rearrange an area, they have to make a call of the whole area. But if it was someplace in the middle and they rearranged the whole thing, it is possible that it's not important anymore. And if it's all grown up in trees, it might not be very useful anymore, but it might be. It might be. It might be the most important thing. I've seen some lawsuits. I mean, usually people don't call the surveyors are expensive, so people don't usually call the surveyor unless there's a lawsuit starting. And I've seen some crazy stuff.
Kevin Smith says, oops, it moved. Neighbor's driveway has been into my yard. Cut a foot off of it. Is it concrete? Just saw a foot off of it because that's mine.
So,
yeah, he probably wouldn't be able to do that.
Did he get a survey?
Oh no, I know what you do. Charge him rent. Rent is that foot to him.
Talk to the man. Why did he do that? Did he think that was the property, or did he not think at all? You know, and if there's a problem, discuss it.
Stray Bullet says, I'm just busting your balls, Buff. Yeah, I know. But the reality is I had to deal with it. So some of those numbers I know off the top of my head.
His balls have been busted. Good job. Now.
Buddy Carafano says grilled cheese sandwiches for everyone. Wait a minute. I think I missed some. I missed some ads here. Disney ads. Kevin Smith. That's 2 points. Okay, I'm sorry if I missed some. I'm trying to scroll back because we're going on and the chat was going.
Are you saying I talk too much?
Well, when I'm trying to catch up an ad, you know, and it's like everybody's talking to you. Yeah, I mean it goes fast. My neighbor is a Smith, so all's good. Oh, so you're Kevin Smith, and there's another Smith. Yeah, that's one of those names. There's a lot of. Where's the name Smith originally from? Is that German? I knew guys that were Schmidt, and that was German. I don't know about Smith. Now you could put a GPS on the old marker, as long as the GPS is perfect.
For what?
A GPS on the marker, the surveyor's markers or something.
It might be useful, but it doesn't dictate. If we use a GPS to find the corner marker, and the corner marker doesn't match the GPS location, the corner marker counts, not the GPS. And there have been lots of issues with people. They think the GPS says it'll be here. GPS don't mean shit.
Tao says we used to have a lot of goods packaged in 454-gram containers. Used to be the 1 pound before we went metric. Later they switched them down to 450 or even 400. Yeah, probably charged them the same or more money. Yeah, I noticed here our drink containers. What do they say on them now? This is
They resize them.
Yeah, these say 500 milliliters. But then it also says in parentheses 1.05 pint. I don't know. I know what a half liter is. 500 milliliters. I don't know. I don't care what numbers they put on there. A lot of stuff in our grocery stores are both. They're metric or they're both until you get over the meat counter, and then they're all in pounds and half pounds and quarter pounds. I never understood that. Mrs. One-Eyed Cat, I'm not getting ads tonight. Don't turn your computer off. Maybe it'll stay that way. Oh, it's this when they put the marker, and they probably had line of sight at night. You could mark GPS for the old deeds. I don't know how that works.
It can help you locate corners, but it doesn't dictate corners.
It can help. She says it can help you locate corners, but it doesn't dictate corners. Kim has a degree in what, civil engineering. So
yeah, and I took surveying and land surveying when I was in school.
So what?
And I worked for land surveying.
One of the jobs she did was set up property, like for businesses, like a Walmart or like a McDonald's or something.
Home Depot.
And they had to survey this property, and they had to put parking spaces and planter boxes with trees and building whatever. They had to set the property up so that it worked for whatever the company was, and it also worked for the local the local rules and regulations. And those two are probably in conflict all the time.
There's lots of conflicts.
There's lots of conflict. So that's what her job is, trying to make that work. So
you had to make resolution with the neighbors, because a bunch of people would come along and say, we don't want that.
Yeah.
And you say, well, why not? It's business. Don't you want business? Don't you want development? And they say, well, we want this. And see if you could fit it in the budget.
So anyway, she has a lot of experience with that stuff.
About 5 years worth of full-time work doing that. Split up over a course of about 10 years. I did it for a while, and then I did other things, and then I went back to it.
Kevin Smith says, been that way long before I moved in.
And I also did, I did field surveying, and I did site design for, like, when they buy a big farm and they break it up into plots and make a housing plan. I did a lot of the legwork for that kind of work. I was not the licensed surveyor, but I worked with the licensed surveyor every day for a long time. I saw what kind of problems they had. I saw the way they worked them through.
Can you people hear? Can everybody hear her over there? She's over there grinding away, making noise and talking way across the room. I don't know if you can hear her.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to get my job done.
Well, I don't know if they can hear you.
I know. I'm kind of done. Maybe someday we'll talk about it on the live or something. If somebody wants to know more about it, I'll answer questions.
Kevin Smith says Smith is Dutch and German and 1% hillbilly. Yeah, I sort of adopted the hillbilly way. Kind of like it. Dean Stevens says Enzo Ferrari was Dutch. Enzo is Italian. You know, fix it again, Tony. Thomas says, I have a kink in my side fence. The original plan shows it's straight. Truth be known, the bowling club next door is built on 2 feet of my land. I don't care, though. Yeah, this guy over here, Kim, I think when he built his building, I think a little corner of it kind of protrudes onto our property, but I'm not sure. It's not a problem, but it's just, you know, I think that's what happened.
That's pretty wild.
But I don't know.
Garden on our property too?
It could be. That garden could be half on our property. Just go over there and take all his corn. Go, hey, it's on our property.
If his building is on the property, then his whole garden is.
Then his whole garden's on our property.
Yeah.
It could be. I don't give a shit. So.
When the property gets sold, that's when it'll be a name.
Yeah, we'll have to go over there to his garden. We'll have a Buffalo Campo flag, and we'll stick the flag right in the middle of his garden.
Well, thing of it is,
we claim this land.
Just because he gardens it doesn't mean he owns it.
Well, it's like, you know, I got to deal with a farmer over here that grows a crop on half our land. And he takes care of that, and he harvests it and bales it and everything he does. And that's fine. We have that agreement. It's still my property. Just means I don't have to go out there and mow it and make a lawn out of it anymore. Yeah, it's about 2 acres he takes care of. I got like 4 acres here, a little more than 4. And I think he's probably farming about A good 2 acres of it. Fine with me. The deal we have is he lets this, whatever this grass is, he lets it grow about a little taller than me, and he cuts it all down, bales it, feeds animals with it, and I don't have to mow it. Good deal.
Do you think vinegar will clean aluminum?
Will vinegar clean aluminum? I don't know. You could try. We got plenty of vinegar. I know vinegar helps take rust off ferrous metals.
What time is it?
I don't. It's 12:45.
That clock is wrong. It says 10:15. Does vinegar clean aluminum?
Look, Tavo says, I'm good with 2 feet less land I have to maintain. Yeah, that's why I let this farmer do this. I don't have to mow that every once a week or in the summer when or this time of year when it's raining. I'd have to mow that twice a week, and it's 2 acres just to keep a nice lawn. And I used to do that, but now he just lets his stuff grow, and he goes out with a big machine and cuts it all down, makes these big round bales and hauls it off and feeds it to his animals, and I don't have to mow it. It's a good deal for both of us. So Kevin Smith says he's just north of Toledo. Would that be in Ohio or in Michigan? Well, my brother lives on the border of Michigan, Ohio. Half his yard is Ohio, half is Michigan. Well, that must be fun. Get 2 tax bills. There was a store I used to go to. I lived in Sharon, Pennsylvania, and there was a store. I think it was a liquor store or something. No, it was a pharmacy, kind of like a liquor store. It was a pharmacy. And that building was like, if this were the building, it was like this, and the state line went right down kitty corner through the building. And they had an entrance on one end and an entrance on the other end. They had a cash register at each end. And if you walked out one end, it didn't matter where you got the stuff in the store. But if you walked out one side, you paid Ohio tax. If you walked out the other side, you paid Pennsylvania tax. And they had lottery there. They had Ohio lottery at one door, and they had Pennsylvania at the other door. And it was called State Line Pharmacy. But that building's still there, but the business is gone. But I used to think it was really cool. I walk in there, there's a big line painted down the middle of the store on the floor. There's a line about this wide, Pennsylvania on one side and Ohio on the other side. But it really didn't matter where you picked the stuff up. You just had to pay the tax where you walked out.
All of you get 2 points. She says vinegar will clean organic goop off aluminum, but you must rinse thoroughly. That makes sense.
Organic goop.
Yeah.
Well, is grease organic? That's like old dinosaurs.
I think it is or it isn't.
We don't know.
We don't know.
Kevin Smith says taxes are ridiculous in Michigan.
Smells good. It smells like a nice.
Yeah, it kind of smells like you're cooking something, Kim.
I know. Now I'm hungry.
What vinegar is that? That's
There's some vinegar in there.
Oh, that's not the new one I bought, is it?
I don't know.
No, it isn't. I bought a gallon.
Oh, this one was already open.
Yeah, this is open. There's another one over there that's not open. It's a gallon of apple cider vinegar. What was that?
Can you hold this?
Okay.
I don't know why this is still out.
Well, because I have to clean it up. I still haven't cleaned. I've got to take that. I got to take that all out and clean every part and clean the box and put it all in there. So it's just gonna wait. I'll put it up here because it's gonna get spilled off here too.
Yeah. Even if it doesn't clean it, it kind of smells nice. So
yes, and the reason I bought that vinegar, it was on sale because it was dented. Well, I'm not going to eat that vinegar. I'm going to put it on fenders and stuff when I'm sanding to get rid of rust, So it's a okay thing.
It actually does okay. Although I'm using a wire brush. I think it's just because
wire brush and vinegar.
A small piece.
So Kim's using it. Ohio taxes are not so great either.
No, taxes suck no matter where you are.
Yeah, I don't like having to pay the tax here, but compared to other states, it's not bad. Ours went up a lot this year because, a lot of inflation. So the property values went up, hence taxes went up. Yeah, whatever. So, I don't know, whatever.
can't understand why there's so much inflation. It doesn't make sense.
Kevin Smith says vinegar will corrode aluminum. Well, maybe that'll go underneath the stuff and get it off, but you probably don't want to leave it there.
No, when I'm done with this, I'm gonna go wash it.
Buddy Carafano said, never understood why they call the liquor store a package store. You know, I never heard that term till I was in the Air Force, and people called it a package store. And I said, why is it a package store? And this guy looks at me, and he had an accent like he's from the South. And he goes, package liquor store, a package store, a package store. And he yells it at me like 3 times. And I'm like,
because
okay.
When someone doesn't understand what you're saying, yell it.
Yeah, yell at me. I'll understand it better. So he goes, a package liquor store. And I said, oh, okay. So I guess it's packaged liquor versus a drink like you'd get in a bar. But I was from Central California. I'd never heard that before. Once I was in the military, on the military bases, they have a package store. That's where you buy.
Boy, a liquor store was always just a liquor store. And
on base,
you knew you were buying.
On base, it's a package store. I didn't know why, but I guess somewhere it's called a package store. Yeah, Dickens cider. Yeah, okay. All right, Stay Bullet. I know about that.
That's Dickens cider.
Okay. We don't gonna sing that song. You're gonna have Stray Bullet. You're gonna have Kim singing that song.
You're gonna get us all in trouble.
We can't do that.
It's okay. It was an appropriate joke.
Because he wrote it. He wrote it well. Had to be 21 to drink way back then. Geez, when I first went in the military, if you were in the military, if you had an ID card and you went in a place on base that served alcohol, you could drink. Nobody cared. But after a while, they had to do what the rest of the country did, and it went to 21. But I remember I wasn't 21. I'd go in there was this place, I don't know what the real name of it is. They called it the Snake Pit. Go in there and they had sandwiches and beer and stuff and TVs around, like a sports bar looking thing. And I'd go in there and have a beer and a sandwich. And I was 19 when I first started going in there. Couldn't do that downtown. But so I had a beer, big deal. It was across the street from the barracks I was in. So I had to walk all of 50 feet. I wasn't driving. Man, I remember I was in California, it was 21, but I go to Arizona sometimes and it was 19. 19 for beer and wine and 21 for hard liquor. But I remember that, but they changed that too. Oh, it says organic compounds just means generally anything with carbon, nitrogen, and oxygen.
Right.
He invented medicinal compounds. Dean's singing something that I don't know what it is.
Good job, Dean.
Oh, it says the Packy is a liquor store in old states. People used to buy bottles at bars too, but you could get a package before and after Prohibition. Well, so that started during Prohibition, maybe.
No, it should be before now.
Kevin Smith, us old farts shouldn't have to pay property taxes. We have no kids in school. Well, it depends on what see, like here, our property taxes, I don't know what they do with them. I guess they're accountable somewhere if I go chase it down. But when we buy our tags for our license plate, I think it's about $25 a year. But then there's a wheel tax on there. And the wheel tax is an additional tax that goes for the schools. So we pay our school tax with our license.
You should pay that on multiple vehicles.
Yeah, I know. If you got a bunch of vehicles, you pay a bunch of school tax. I don't mind paying it. I mean, I went to school. And I guess, as a kid, I'm not.
You have to fund it. That's fine.
As a kid, I'm not going to pay it. But when I get to be adult, I'll pay it for the kids. I don't mind. He says he doesn't have kids, so he shouldn't have to pay it. But I mean, you went to school, didn't you? I mean,
well, if you don't use any of the services in the community, then they don't need any. Like, somebody's got to make the hamburgers, and they have to educate those people. If you don't want to pay school taxes, live someplace where they don't have school taxes.
Yeah, well, they don't have schools.
That's how.
Okay, we're gonna have ads.
That's how they feel, and
ads.
They have to.
5 seconds.
They have to fund it. Give me an answer of how they're supposed to fund it. You know.
So I don't know. I'm gonna wait just a second here.
I'm sure if you had a great idea of how to fund it, other than I don't want to pay, they would love to hear it. Nobody wants to pay. Who paid for your school?
That's what I said. I went to school, so I don't mind paying for school for somebody. Okay. But I mean, it's not like, it's not like you're paying a private school. Well, that's some money. Let's see here. My family was in the liquor business for 2 generations.
Oh, no way.
I've never heard it called a package store. This is Stray Bullet.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't hear it till I went in the military.
Where was
that from? Stray Bullet? I'm trying to remember where you are.
You probably told us 3 times.
I know. I'm sure you told us. I just can't. Where's that?
I'm off in La La Land. I'm working on this.
Ohio. I don't know.
I got to show everybody what I did so they know.
It says the general drinking age was lower in many states before Reagan. Oh, was Reagan that changed that? Reagan went on, I signed this into law. Everybody's 21 now. I don't think Reagan did that.
You don't think it was Reagan?
Oh, I don't know. Reagan changed the age of 21? I don't know.
Changed it from state decided to federal.
I know it did go to federal.
I remember the
federal wanted all states to do that, so I don't know.
Conform to the same thing.
But
I remember they Reagan did that with smoking too.
Reagan was not a dictator.
It was different.
All of us in the United States understand something in Congress goes through one side of Congress, the other side of Congress, and then the president signs it. He may have signed it.
Oh, don't get pumped. We'll get
it's the system. It's the system. Every president has signed things that I like, and every president signed things I don't like.
Every president?
Every president.
Presidents do things. Okay.
But I'd rather talk about the funny shit presidents do.
I don't talk about
one of my favorites is Ulysses Grant used to get speeding tickets on his horse in Washington, D.C., which I think is funny as shit. First of all, the President of the United States is getting a speeding ticket. I think that's pretty hilarious that a cop would stop the president. And then the second thing is he gets a speeding ticket on a horse. I never thought about that because I grew up after you got speeding tickets in cars.
He was going too fast. All right, let me show them what this is about so that we can finish up. Switch over just a minute.
Okay, let's see here. Yeah, it says lottery is supposed to pay for schools. It's a bunch of BS. Yeah, in California, I thought, man, this is great, the lottery. Voluntary taxation. Here we go. I'm going to buy a few lottery tickets, and it's going to help pay for the schools. Well, the first year we had the lottery, the schools were broke. They're like, we don't have enough money. I'm going, wait a minute, you're getting all this lottery money. Well, it's not enough. Well, of course, it's never enough. It's never enough. It's never enough. It's never enough.
Okay. Please, can we change the subject from
taxation? Stray Bullets from California. Okay, and I was from California, and I never heard it called a package store.
Okay. So, on the...
She's got let me get out of the way. You're running over me with a machine.
On the Bronco 2, right? The engine is here. The intake manifold comes up to 3 risers. Okay, and then these came up and then went like this and then turned into a big air thing that went up and had a throttle body, right? They all swooped forward. They all swooped back. They kind of swooped back and then forward all together. The problem is this one would get supplied. If I came from here, it would get supplied with all the fuel, and then these would get leaner if I didn't fix it, right? And there's no way to mount. I guess I could have used a side draft carburetor, but I didn't want to. So you can't turn these around because they won't line up right. So this last one, what I did was I cut it off so I can flip that part around, and then I'm going to make a unified riser and put a carburetor on top of it. So that's what all that cutting was. I went from this to this, and we're gonna have to epoxy bond that.
Why don't you muggy weld that?
Oh, we could maybe.
Yeah, I want to muggy weld that.
You said you were really cautious of this.
Well, I want. What about these pieces that got cut off here? Are they somewhere?
Yeah.
Okay, so I can try. I can
Oh
learn.
yeah, you could
I can
practice.
learn it on that. Yeah, I've done a lot of muggy welds, not on that particular
Not this
casting.
metal. Yeah.
Right. So I want to try it. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Well, we've got a plan. We got a
Well, Kevin
plan.
Smith pop because it pops you in the nose if you drink without a straw. You know, we used to take care of babysit years ago. Babysit these little kids. And there's three little girls, and they were like age like 4, 5, and 6 or something, and they were drinking some Coke or Pepsi or something.
Mm-hmm.
And me, being the smart ass that I am, I go like this. I point to them. I go, "Don't laugh. It'll come out your nose." Man, all three of those girls started laughing, and it came out all their noses, and they were crying. I thought, man, that was mean, but they were still laughing. But I thought I probably shouldn't have said that.
Maybe you should have thought about that first.
Don't laugh; it'll come out your nose.
I think I'm just.
I forgot all about that. You said this.
This is only a 2.9 liter engine, so putting 3 2-barrel carburetors, it's going to be over carbureted. It's going to have terrible. What would it do? What aspect of its performance would that be? That be messed up.
The what now?
If you over carburate, what happens?
Well, the velocity in the carburetor goes down.
So lean.
I may just not pull the right amount of fuel in. I'm not really sure. It doesn't work to its full ability.
If you get 3 carburetors, then you have to tune them. You have to synchronize them. And then the way the West was won.
What, by laughing and having pop come out your nose? I'm not sure.
Was it verified with a speed camera?
Yeah, right. Yeah, in like 1878, they're out there with a speed camera like this, pointing at President Grant on his horse to write him a ticket.
Yes.
Can you imagine getting a ticket on a horse? I think that's hilarious to begin with. And then stopping the President of the United States from speeding. That's just as hilarious.
Tavo says low fuel velocity. There you go. So
yes.
I'll give you 2 points because we'll get low velocity. It says use 3 single barrels. So I could, right? But then I have to pay for 3 carburetors and I have to synchronize the banks, right? Which and I still have to fabricate some way to mount them on. I think I just want to do 1 2-barrel carburetor. I know it'll be the correct amount of carburation for these things. I'm just going to try that. That's what I want to try. Okay? Anybody who wants to pay to have single barrel risers made for me, they'll be a couple $100 to have somebody. What's that called when they use the 3D print them?
You know, why is this one so crooked?
I did a crappy job.
So I have a suggestion. Are you going to cut this one too? Because you could cut that like almost to here and bend it up, and then I can muggy weld it around and fill the crack.
Let's see how this goes.
Okay, but I mean, keep that in mind that we could do that.
See, the other thing is I could just cut it again a little bit lower. These don't have to be this high. All the higher these have to be is about here. They're 2 or 3 times as tall as they need to be.
Okay.
So I could cut them down.
Yeah.
So we'll see. They're a lot shorter than they were. They were way taller. They were like up to here tall. And the problem with that is then the carburetor wouldn't fit under the hood. It'd be sticking way out. And I know that might be cool, but it's not cool.
Mrs. One-Eyed Cat said something here I wanted to make a comment on. She said you get a DUI on a bike too. Heck, in Ohio, when I left Ohio, they wrote that new law for DUI, and I forget what they call it in Ohio, OUI or something. I don't remember, but it was a new law. And you sitting in your garage on a any wheeled vehicle, on a skateboard, on a ride-on mower that's not even running. If you're on the vehicle drinking, it's a DUI or an OUI or whatever they call it there. Ohio is like, I guess the cop could use some discretionary judgment there, but I mean, it's to the point of being ridiculous. Sitting on a skateboard in your garage. if they can keep the garage door shut in case a cop drives by.
Okay.
But I can understand why they don't want you on the road with anything.
Stray Bullet says run the carburetors progressively so it only runs on the center carburetor most of the time.
Well, if you have a log here.
I mean, if I made a big tall riser, yeah. But maybe in the future, I'm gonna try and build something here that makes it run.
You need one carburetor. Oh, I told you what. If any of you watch Garage 54, that crazy Russian guy that's out there, Vladimir, he's out in the different Vladimir, not the one that's in Moscow, the one that's in Siberia. He does all the crazy stuff with cars. He's funny as hell. He took Garage 54. He took Vlad, yeah.
The Impaler?
He took a carburetor and put it on some Toyota, and he taped it on. He said Scotch tape because the translation was messed up, but it was package tape. He taped this carburetor on, or a tube with a carburetor on it, right onto the throttle body, and started the car and ran it. I was amazed. So it didn't work real well with the throttle body there. So then he had to eliminate the throttle body, and he put it on there. He drove it all around and everything, just with the whole apparatus there. Just the thing stuck on the carburetor, stuck on the inlet for the throttle body. But that's why I was telling you, put it on the front of the throttle body. But you said, this isn't designed for that, and you're probably right. It probably doesn't do the fuel mixture any favors the way it flows.
No, it's kind of the worst way to do it.
Puddles up and everything. But he was laughing about it, that it worked.
You could make it work, but it wouldn't be very good. Kevin Smith asks, did UTG and Cold War Motors have their live yet? I hope I didn't miss it. You did, Kevin. I don't know if it's still in like the archives for UTG. I would think he would leave something like that up.
They did it Tuesday night from 6 to 8 Central Time, because they overlapped us. And we talked about it, and I said, man, I never want to step on UTG, but we always do Tuesday night lives. We've been doing it for a long time. So he may not even be aware of that, but they did that. So it's like, okay, I guess we'll just, maybe. I talked to Mexican Spec because he's moderator in both of them, and he goes, I got to be there. I said, okay. I said, well, when you leave, let them know where you're going. Maybe a whole bunch of people come over from that one. And some people did. So they kind of got introduced to this channel, and, that used it to our advantage, But yeah, it was Tuesday night. Let's see. Who is it? Kevin Smith says our Arabian horse Cherokee was a fast horse. Never got a ticket. Yeah.
That's right. You got to outrun the law if you have a fast enough horse.
Oh, what engine or vehicle is this for again?
This is for a 1985 Ford Bronco 2. And I am replacing the 2.8 engine, which had some type of cracked engine block, with a 2.9 engine. And the 2.8 and 9 have the same bell housing, so the transmission mates, and it fits in the engine bay properly. But the electronics, the valve train, the intake manifold, the exhaust manifolds, none of that stuff interchanges. So I'm converting it from a fuel-injected setup to a carbureted setup so that I can run it with hardly any wires. It's just going to be like an off-road toy, and the last thing I want to be doing is figuring out how to wire up a computer to a vehicle that never had one. I'm not going to buy any of that stuff. So I got to fabricate. There's no such thing as a conversion piece. Nobody ever made it. If somebody wanted a better motor in that vehicle, they just put a 4 or 5 liter engine in. So this is a pretty customized thing. Custom. I'm going to go see if the Muggy Weld is here or if it's in my box.
She called it Muggy Weld. I'd never heard that before. It's aluminum weld that you use with a torch. And I used that 40 years ago, but I don't remember what it was called. It wasn't Muggy Weld. I would have remembered that. But you heat the materials, and then you just kind of wipe it on there. It just flows out like solder. But it's for aluminum and brass. And I was telling her I took a big chunk of brass that was a fitting that was enormous, heavy thing, and I Muggy welded it to a beer can, which is 4,000 thick aluminum. And I used to have that in a shop, and I bend it all around and everything. That weld never broke.
Here's the Benzomatic brand. I think
Oh, Burns-O-Matic.
Burns-O-Matic?
Yeah, not Benz, it's Burns.
Burns-O-Matic.
I got the Benz.
Um,
okay, yeah, this, what do they call it? Brazing and welding rods.
For aluminum, though. It's specifically the aluminum style.
Oh, aluminum. Okay, I didn't read that because it's like dark blue on light blue.
And that is specifically for this kind of thing. So.
Okay, so do you have any more of this? Because they got that welding store. They got a bunch of it down there. I could just go get. I'll get some on.
There's enough there to do this, I believe. If it doesn't work, we'll buy more. But
yeah, maybe enough to do one of them.
I did some research.
But I want to do some practice.
Okay.
And you did. I'm sorry. You did some research in what?
That's the right stuff to do what we're doing. That's why I bought it. I bought it a while ago for something like a project similar to this, but not this specific project. But I knew I had some, and I found it.
Tom Anderson. He wasn't. Well, okay, I missed something back there. An Amish guy got a DUI for his horse and buggy. He was passed out in the buggy, and the horse was on his way home. The police had a heck of a time stopping the horse. So he says he wasn't even conscious. Still got a DUI and a trip to jail. Yeah, you know, I've come out from a bar before in Ohio and just got in the car and went to sleep in a parking lot. And now I think in Ohio you get a DUI for that. And to me, you can't stay in the bar. They're closing. What are you going to do? I mean, sleeping in the parking lot's not probably the best thing to do.
You have to go
But
home.
You still get a DUI. So what are people going to do? They're going to try to drive. I mean, that's the thing. It's terrible.
The law says basically that you have to go home. So, and now their argument is, well, get a cab or get an Uber. There are
out here where we are. Call it Uber.
It does. You can't.
You can't get an Uber out here.
But you shouldn't be drinking and driving.
I know, but if you mess up and drink, you ought to be able to set yourself down and not drive and be legal. But it's not.
I agree.
I mean, no matter what you do at that point, you're screwed.
The alternative,
and that's terrible.
It's a difficult alternative. You've got to not get in that situation, is what it amounts to.
I guess you could walk home. You might get a ticket for drunk in public, but you try to walk straight, you might be okay.
If they catch you walking home, they won't like that because you get run over. They're gonna harass you if you try and do that.
There's somebody, I was in Ohio, somebody stole a gun out of my house, and I knew who it was, and I knew about it. So kids, 8-year-old kid broke into our house. Two 8-year-olds broke into our house, and they stole a gun, and I knew they'd broken into the house. It was a long story. But anyway, so I'd been working distance away. I came home, found out what had happened. So I called the police to let them know the gun was gone. And he goes, I think we have your gun here. Describe it. And I described it. I said, yeah, that's it. And he goes, can you come down here? I said, yeah, I'll come down there. Well, after I got home, I sat there and I drank a couple of glasses of wine. And while I was drinking that wine, I found out what was going on. So it was about 1.5 miles or so to the police department. So I walked down to the police department, walked in there. The guy talked to me and everything, the officer, and he knew who the kid was, and he goes, oh, yeah, we know who he is. And he went over there and ran off remember the computer paper that went like this? He had a pile of paper like this. This was the kid's record. The kid was 8. He goes, yeah, he's one of the local burglars. So he says, we can either press charges, or he goes, I can get him. I can make it so he has to come here after school. And because I'm the juvenile officer, I can supervise him doing his homework and then make sure he walks home or make sure his parents pick him up or something. I go, yeah, do that. So then he hands me this rifle. And I said, okay, so now what? And he goes, well, take the rifle home. I said, well, I'm on foot. And he goes, why are you on foot? I said, because I had a couple of drinks before I came down here. I didn't want to drive down here. He just started laughing. He goes, I'll give you a ride home. I said, okay. So this cop drove me home with a rifle. But I didn't want to walk through town with a rifle. Jeez, Then I'd be back in the police department. Mrs. One-Eye Cat, Tony's been doing a lot of live. Yeah, he has.
Well,
don't
that's
comment.
good.
because he never says anything
Well, that's
back
the
to me
problem with you
anymore.
being so.
Doesn't say anything back to you anymore.
Well, it's busy. There's a lot of things to say.
He's got, when he gets 300 or 400 people in there, that chat's rolling.
It's rough.
And it's hard to, yeah, it's really hard.
Be difficult.
Yeah, Kevin Smith says back in the old days, you had to be falling down drunk to get a DUI. When I first got my license, 1970, it was 1.0 in California. Now it's 0.08, like just about every state. But it was 1.0. But there were states that was 1.15. Many states were 0.15, and 0.15, you're not in good shape. But you had to be 1.5 to get a DUI in a lot of states. Yeah, I don't know. When they got strict about the drunk driving, I was driving tow trucks, and man, did the accident rate with drunks went way down. So I don't disagree with that, but I do disagree with somebody on a wheeled vehicle in their garage getting a DUI for sitting on a mower while they're drinking a beer or something. I think it's terrible. Or on a skateboard, or and that the cop could do that, but hopefully they use the discretion not to do that. Yeah, Kevin Smith says, sir, wake up and go home. I remember cops like 1970, 71, 72, they'd stop somebody and they'd pour the beer out on the ground and send them on their way. And not now. Olive says, my migraines are catching up with me, so I'll bid everyone a good night.
Oh, man, thank you for being here.
I hope they're not too painful. Better. I get migraines and I don't get pain, but I get my visions all messed up. So yeah. Mexican Spec said, Mad really screwed me on my driver's written test. Oh, I remember some story about that, but I don't remember what it was. Yeah, you were taking your test. You were that age that was about when all that was happening. Buddy Carafano says, send pictures of your favorite cars for Tuesday. Hey, I noticed there's a bunch of emails in there already, but I haven't opened them. But I saw them sitting there because I'm waiting for an email on something else. But I have actually watched it. Tawa says 0.05 down here, and you can't sleep in your car if you have the keys. I was in court on a minor traffic charge once. In a case before me, someone picked up walking home drunk instead of driving. Man, so they arrested him walking home drunk. I just don't get it. If you're sleeping in the car, you're really doing what you should be doing. Kim's over there cutting on something or filing. I don't know what she's doing. Kim, how late you gonna work?
I'm kind of done.
Okay. Mexican Spec says, in school they taught us the new limits that had just passed, but the old ones were still on the test. I got that wrong. And one other question. Okay, so you put the new limits down, but the test was still had the old limits on it. That's terrible. So the police copped a mouthful for charging, whatever that means, copped a mouthful for charging him for being responsible and leaving his car at the bar. Yeah, Mrs. One-Eyed Cat says if the keys are in, it'll be a DUI. Well, I'll wait for the commercial. Mrs. One-Eyed Cat says if the keys are in it, it'll be a DUI. See, and then my question was, I had a car with many cars actually, that don't have a key. They have a fob. There's no keyhole. It's just like, okay, now what? What I used to do in Ohio is I get in the passenger side and I put the seat back a couple of notches. So obviously I'm not driving, and I hope that was good enough. I didn't do it very damn often, you know. Tom Anderson says here, if you have a commercial driver's license, it's 04. His limit is or a concealed carry. Oh, same thing for a concealed carry. Yeah, I mean, the best thing is not be drinking around your car, but, you know, if you have a couple of drinks and go, man, I don't know, I probably shouldn't be driving. I think the responsible thing to do is just go sleep in the car. But the law doesn't look at it that way. To me, that's kind of sad. Kevin Smith says, on my test, they asked who goes first on a four-way stop. I answered me. Kim, you like that?
That's a perfect answer.
Here's a four-way stop here in Clarksville that I go every time I go into town. I get to that four-way stop, and coming back yesterday, I stopped that four-way stop, and it was a guy on the right of me who got there first. Then I came up there, and somebody else. So I'm waiting for this guy, and he just sits there, and I'm thinking, man, two things: you're on the right, you go first, and you got there first, you go first. So I waved him through, and he just sit there, and I go, man, all I got to do is creep forward, and he drives into me, and I'm screwed, you know. So I just waited for him, and finally he went. And then I went, and then the other person went. Dean Stevenson says 18 helium balloons, and lanyard, and a bar stool. Dean Stevenson, Mitsubishi electric HVAC again. Guess that's 2 points.
This is season.
Stray Bullet says, hiring a good lawyer will usually take care of those injustices.
Yeah.
But that's a punishment itself. Yeah, I got in some trouble one time and completely got out of it. Hired a lawyer, but it was $4,000. $4,000. $4,000, and that was a while ago. That was in, I don't know, how was that? 1996. $4,000 to get made it go away.
Everybody wants the money. You need a lawyer.
Yeah, it's $4,000 to get that go away, but my current lawyer now in 2025 charged me $250 to redo my will, which is long and complicated. A lot more work than it was what that guy did for me. Tavo says, the thing is, the law down here is written, putting or attempting to put in motion a motor vehicle whilst having blood alcohol of 0.05 or higher. Nothing about sleeping in it, but you're in charge of the car. That's what I thought. That's why I got in the passenger side. If I'm sitting in the passenger side, I don't know, man. It'd be pretty hard to drive from over there. I guess postal people do. Tom Anderson, Kevin Smith. Who goes first at a four-way stop? Whoever has the largest tires. That's usually the tractor. Dean Stevenson, a bar stool with helium balloons. Isn't a road vehicle. Oh yeah, that's an air vehicle. Then it's even worse. Next spec says, do you guys find you do the same thing wrong as the wrong answers you got on your first written test? Man, my written test, I got 100% on my written test. And then the guy that gave me the driver's test, somebody walked in front of me way up the road, so I just slowed down. It was in the middle. Guy jaywalked in front of me. So I slowed down and stopped, and he finished. Yeah, I got back. And then the guy that gave me my test, you start in California, you start with 100 points. And he took 1 point off because he said I didn't open up the window and put my arm out and signal for a stop. I'm like, what? Nobody would do that. I mean, I had an old driver's manual like from the 40s. It was like before World War II. And they showed what the hand signals were. The cars didn't have turn signals then. But this is 1970 even. Every car had turn signals and brake lights. But anyway, he took a point off. So I got a 99. But I went in there with the goal of getting 100%. And he could have that.
His dreams were dashed.
Tom Anderson says 4,000 a while ago. Probably, Jesus, Kim. 4,000 a while ago translates to about 10 grand. Well, I know when I want it. It's 1996. I'm going to look and see what the consumer price index says. Jeez. Well, I'm just interested in this stuff.
Okay.
I know you don't like all my details.
No. You don't like details.
In 1996, I know right where I was and when it was. That's like $8,019 now. Yeah, that had knocked the crap out of me. It knocked the crap out of me then. It was horrible.
Maybe you shouldn't get in trouble. Dang.
Oh, it was stupid. Well, and they just got rid of it, just. Kevin Smith, hell, I can't even pass a piss test. Stray Bullet says, I can't even remember my first written test. Tavo, I had to answer hand signal questions on my test in 1979. It was on our written test, but Tavo, how often do you crank your window down and signal for a stop? Put your arm out, hang it down. Some guy walks out in front of you, so roll the window down, run over the guy, get your hand out the window. You're going to stop,
You're just mad because you.
That cost me my perfect score. I got a perfect score on my private pilot's license when I passed that. I thought he was going to ding me on that one because I had something that was wrong, but I couldn't do anything about it. I told him why. Right when it happened. I was in a big old sinker and I had to maintain altitude with 100 feet. I couldn't do it. I had full power and best rate of climb, and I was going down. And then as I got out of that sinking air, I got back up and nailed the altitude again. And I said, well, it's a big sinker. I'm paying for all that altitude I gained so fast. He sat there and didn't say anything. But afterwards, he did. He said, yep. You knew what was going on. You knew exactly what happened. Did the most you could about it, so I did it.
There.
He's good.
That's how it needs to go together.
Oh, you got it all clamped together.
I want to be done. A lot of people went to bed.
Yeah, I know. We're down to just
a lot of people stuck around, though. Everybody who's still here this late at night watching us jabber on about DUIs and such, y'all get 3 points for still being here. I appreciate you. Because otherwise, he'd have gone to bed. And then I'd be out here all by myself. And that's no fun. So you guys make it good. I had a decent time. We got a lot of cleanup done. Like real cleanup done. There's still some tolls. Maybe we'll have to come back out and do some more tomorrow.
God, I'm a little roll.
So I'm a little closer to getting my Bronco 2 ready. He says he wants to do a practice thing on the Muggy Weld, and I agree.
Do you have? Where is that piece? Is it out? Is it gone somewhere?
I set it outside in the junk pile so I wouldn't have to trip over it anymore. But I can go recover it.
Well, Kevin Smith says I passed my written test and crash on the way home.
Why, are you in the mood to experiment with Muggy Weld now?
No, I don't want to do that tonight.
We'll do it next time.
Tom Anderson, 1:29 in the morning here. Yep, same thing here.
Do you have to do anything tomorrow morning? What day is today? Thursday.
Friday morning. I'm going to have to call my attorney tomorrow.
Oh.
Because she sent me a copy of the will. I got to review that when we're finished here. I'm going to review that. And then I'm going to probably have an appointment to go in there and sign it. But I have to call her tomorrow and go take care of that. I want to get it done because the prior will it's outdated. There's some things that are different. Like cars in there that I don't own anymore and shit like that.
Buff, have you ever seen a long wheelbase 1985 Dodge van with a V8 and stick shift on the floor?
Probably not, but I had a friend that had a Ford van that was the first one that had the real long nose on the front, and it had a 300 cubic inch 6 and a 4-speed on the floor, and that gear shift went way back like this, and it had a 4-speed on the floor.
In 85, most of those vans were built for commercial use, and they were automatic. To see one with a stick shift on the floor, I mean, the doghouse is right there. It's a great big doghouse. Where do you put the shifter? Back behind the doghouse?
That Ford van had a big doghouse, and that shifter it was kind of shaped like this and went way back. It was like a ball in the top of the transmission, like a truck has, like a pickup.
I guess it is.
And his arm was kind of back here, but it had a big, like an S shape back there. And in fact, I've been trying to find that guy. I found some contact information isn't good. He's the one that was standing next to me. His name's Paul, and he was standing next to me on that picture of my Cougar that I show where there were two of us standing there. He's the guy that had that van. I've been trying to find him, and I don't know. That was like 40 years ago. Can't seem to reach him. What was it there? It said, where is it? I'm trying to find it. Oh, Buddy Carfano, let's make omelets for breakfast. I got plenty of cheese. It's the eggs you're missing. Let me guess. Tom Anderson, I was just to our lawyer yesterday about the same thing. He recommended updating your will every 5 years. Yeah, mine's probably 4 years old. And what happened, I had a bunch of cars. Well, the cars had come and gone, I'm thinking that's stupid. And then people, different people. So I said, okay. So I updated. What I did with the cars, just said, all cars in my name. Okay. And then, so that won't be, I remember what happened to my mother. My mother died many, many, many years ago, decades ago. My father died in 2018. So they had a will. We got the will out, and my mother had it written in 1983. And it was almost everybody in there had passed away. It was so outdated. I said, okay, I'm not going to do this to people that are there after me. I'm going to at least update it. So that's what I'm doing, update it. Making it so it's appropriate. 3-speed with overdrive, the shifter bent forward. Yep. I know exactly what that looks like. I don't know it on the Dodge, but I know on the Ford what it looks like. I assume it's very similar. Next inspect. This is a high top X ambulance with the extra part on the back. This is a long and high roof. I'll send you pics. Hey, Mexican Spec. Oh wait, Buff, have you ever seen a long wheelbase? Okay, Mexican Spec. I got to send you a picture. I got to remember this when I get home. I'll just email it to your Instagram. You and I communicate a couple of different ways. I'll send you a picture of a thing, a car. It's a Buick that I think was a hearse, or maybe it was built the way it is. It's an odd looking thing. I'm gonna send it to you, and you can tell me about it because I'm kind of interested to know what it was. But it sure looks like it started off as a hearse. This is one iCat. I'm here and got my shit done. Kim and I gotta get paint tomorrow.
Good job getting your stuff done, Wendy. Get your paint. You're going to do painting this weekend? We still have, it's really damp. It rained the last couple of days. I don't know what day it's supposed to dry up.
Oh, how did you get here? Because you came from somewhere else. Did you drive over here or did you walk over here?
No, I parked in the driveway. I walked.
You walked over here. The lawn was really wet coming over. My feet were soaking wet by the time I got here. Yep. Yeah, it's wet out there. Yeah, Kevin Smith, 3 on the column. I've seen that on vans. But that Ford, that friend of mine had that one with what was a 4-speed that was big S-shaped shifter. And it was a new van. It was stock. I drove an old Australian model international truck. The gear shift was literally a foot behind you, reach behind your. Oh, so it was straight and it was back there. Man. Tavo, is compulsory there for a lawyer to handle your will or just a wise thing to do? It's a wise thing to do. You can do it yourself, but man, if you pass away and leave something that's kind of not right or not documented well, then there's going to be a big argument, or witness correctly. Yeah, the last time I did this one, it was the first one I did in Tennessee. We got done. They took me in a room, big long table, and there were 4 attorneys sitting there. And my attorney was one of them. And she says to me, she had me sign. She had all these copies, and she had me sign each copy. And then went down to each attorney, and each of those attorneys were also
witnesses.
Yeah, there were what do you call them?
Yep. I know what you mean.
Yeah, they were all witnesses, and they also, so they had 4 witnesses and me. Notaries. They're all notaries as well. So yeah, they had 4 people witness it. I had never seen anything like that before, but that's what they did here, and I'm fine with it. What is the family truckster, Bob? What is the family truckster? Oh, was it the family truckster? Was it the family truckster? Was what the family truckster? Not sure what he's talking about. The family truckster. We have a couple of vans. We're gonna have a pickup truck. Oh, you got a bunch of pickup trucks, and some of them run.
Most of them run.
They're,
None of them are on.
If they're going downhill and you give them a push.
That green truck runs really good.
Yeah. Okay. What? When
the black truck runs too.
What's his name was here that drove that one down the hill?
That one can just get pushed over the hill into the tree row. That one, you're right. That one's garbage.
Cerebral, it was a 3-speed on. It was overdrive. Those E150. Yeah, this one was an E150. Had the 4-speed behind the engine. Mexican spec. That was a Country Squire. I'm trying to think. What was the one I just saw here? What was the family truckster?
Family truckster was the vehicle from National Lampoons.
Oh.
I don't know if that's the name of a vehicle or if that was just their car. I don't know if that's a real vehicle.
My 63 Mercury Monterey was a 3 on the tree. A very odd Kevin Smith. I was working a wheel alignment shop in the 70s, and I jumped in a Buick. There's about a 68 or 69 full-size 4-door Buick. Got in it and just turned the key, because they're all automatics, right? And that thing went and leaped forward about 2 feet. And it's like, what the hell? 3-speed on the column. I'd never seen that. Oh yeah, Dean Stevenson says American Lampoon. I thought it was national. Okay, Tom Anderson, good night. Okay, I think we're going to do the same thing.
No, you got to talk for 2 more minutes. I'm going to go see if I can find that piece of aluminum.
Okay, I got to talk for 2 more minutes at least, because she's going to look for a piece of aluminum so I can weld it. Mrs. One-Eyed Cat, good night all. Take care. Good night. Yeah, we're about done here, but it won't. Yeah, we'll stick around a couple more minutes. Tom Anderson, it'll be just fine. Luckily, I don't have much to do tomorrow. Yeah, my schedule tomorrow is just call the attorney and try to make the arrangements for going in there and signing everything. Dean Stevenson's get it out yet. Panther platform wagon where the robot had a hiccup. Man, the Panther. Why can't I say that word? Panther platform. There was no wagon. They were lampooning Americans nationally. Mexican Spec, I sent you the picture of van on Instagram. Okay, and so when I get home, back down to the house, that'll be sitting there, and that'll be a reminder for me to send you the picture I want to send you, because it's definitely an oddball. Dean Stevens, it's anti-patriotic. Kevin Smith, 63 Mercury Monterey, has a beautiful dashboard, gauges. I know exactly what it looks like. It's a speedometer that goes across, and then it's got two on each side round things. I know exactly what it looks like, because the same gauge cluster will fit in a 64 Ford that has a thing going across with two big round dials, and Mercury had 4 smaller ones. Mercury had a better dash. I know exactly what that is. But Carphone will play national attempt, pouring off like the old days. What'd you find, Kim?
There's a chunk of the piece that I cut up. See, okay. It was higher before. It was like,
yeah, it was real high,
like this.
Okay, so I can try. And you got pieces over there that you cut off?
No.
Well, I thought you cut stuff off here.
What do you want? 2 pieces so you can?
No, it doesn't matter. I can just
see if you can wet it on.
If I can wet it on there. Okay. Kim sings national anthem.
Jose, can you see?
Jose, can you see?
Yeah.
What is this, for Mexican Spec? Okay, we're not going to do that.
Oh, before going off like the old days. Yeah,
like the old days.
Stream. We could just have like a roll that we let run for an hour at the end of the stream when we're done. Just for an extra hour of live.
I was a little kid. One time I don't know if I was sick or something, but I was awake late because we had to go to bed long before the stations went off the air. So I was out there, and my parents were watching TV, and at the end of the day, and they played the national anthem, then I put a test pattern on. Remember the test patterns? And I was like, look at that. I thought that was the coolest thing I'd ever seen. And then, static. They went off the air. It's like, oh, they're gone. They're off the air. My dad's like, click, push the button, and the TV went off. Kevin Smith, prettiest dash ever. Oh, say, can you scream?
Oh, I wanted to mention, too, because there's a couple people still here. Skip that ad.
Oh. I'll try to skip the ad, everybody. Skip.
No ad, because we're trying to
wrap it up, so we skip the ads. Yeah, okay.
Do you think, I know it's pretty late, do you think you'll have time to make a thumbnail tonight? Or is it too late?
A thumbnail for what?
The video I made.
I'll do it. I'll do it when we get home. I got to review my will. I'm okay. I'm wide awake. Review the will. That shouldn't take me long. That'll take me half an hour. I'll get the picture off the Mexican Spec. I'll make you. Can you help me with the? Can you give me a 1600 by 900 or close? A couple screenshots so I can make a thing. I'm gonna need a little help, but then I can do it.
He's gonna make a thumbnail, and then I have a
video. Then we'll get the video up. We'll get the video up.
The next step in what's been done to the Spitfire project, which we're going to have to rename that project because it's not a Spitfire anymore. What to see? Aluminum Fire?
What is this? Tavo says, used to be the same down here back when God Save the Queen was our official anthem.
Oh, I see.
Oh, so, I quite dislike our current one. Thought it was voted on by referendum. Dean Stevens, Sid Vicious was a visionary. Sid Vicious wrote the national anthem. That's that. I gotta hear that. I gotta hear that. Charles, she's not the queen, Tavo. Yeah, okay. The British national anthem.
Tom Anderson, that's evil. He says, say you're gonna tell us a good story, and all of a sudden, click, everything is gone.
Oh man.
Everyone just left hanging on a word. Okay, guys.
So, yeah, I guess we're going to get out of here.
He has a bunch of work.
And Mexican Spec, I will get that picture off to you because I said I would. I'll get it done.
So I've got a ton of work for him to do back at the house. So we got to wrap it up. Thanks everyone for hanging out. We'll see you again real soon. Good night.
Good night, everybody.